Fox Sports.
We are Black. We are Wisconsin.
Sunday afternoon in the Rocky Mountains. We welcome you from Denver, Colorado, and they have a big crowd filing in here at Coors Field, getting ready for the finale. The Brewers and the Colorado Rockies, the first place Milwaukee Brewers. 5.5 games up on the St. Louis Cardinals to start play today. The Brewers have won the first 2 games in this series. They continue to set the pace in the National League. The best record in the NL, second in all of Major League Baseball behind the Oakland A's. Hi, everybody. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Telly Hughes is with us as well. Great to have you with us today. Brewers have a chance to sweep the Colorado Rockies. They're 5-1 on this current road trip. It's been a great story. We've had a lot of surprise performances, but now the old guard starting to establish themselves as well. And I'm talking about Aramis Ramirez in this series.
Yeah, it's nice to have him back since he's been off the disabled list. Ramirez has been outstanding, hitting in number 5 spot in the batting order. Radovanicky wanted to put him back in the cleanup spot at some point, but I don't see that happen anytime soon. The lineup with Braun, Gomez, Ramirez has been working beautifully, and since that time, Ramirez has been swinging the bat well, swinging with a lot of confidence, hitting home runs and driving the ball to the opposite field. When you see Ramos doing that to right field, you know he's seeing the ball well, and he's been hitting some home runs, coming up big with the RBIs, particularly on this road trip.
6 hits in the last 2 days for Ramirez. He has 12 hits on this current road trip. Remember, he missed most of May with that hamstring injury, was on the shelf for about 3 weeks, but he's already among club leaders in runs batted in, and he's having a great month of June. A .369 average, 4 homers, 15 driven in, and he's back in the lineup today. Can the Brewers stay hot? Can they sweep the Colorado Rockies? Kyle Loesch is on the mound this afternoon. Telly Hughes will have more on Loesch when we continue from Coors Field.
trip over the Rockies in Colorado for the first time in 10 years. The Brewers will give the ball to the pitcher with the highest winning percentage in the National League, and that would be Cal Loesch. Hello and welcome back to Coors Field. I'm Telly Hughes. The road trip concludes with a chance for the crew to sweep the Rockies and collect their 6th win in a remarkable 7-game road trip. Cal Loesch is looking for his 2nd win of the trip, but it will have to come in a venue that has its fair share of challenges. But Loesch understands the obstacles of Coors Field and understands that he has to make the necessary adjustments.
You know what you're getting into when you pitch up here. You know the ball's going to carry. You know certain pitches aren't going to break the way they normally do. At a lower elevation, and you just go out there with the same game plan, try to execute it, and you got to go into it knowing you're going to probably have to make some adjustments to the way you're releasing certain pitches or certain things you're trying to do, and find something that works. Something's got to work, and you got to stick with it and figure out a way to get through the game.
Coming up, the Brew Crew look to complete an already remarkable road trip with a series sweep over the Rockies. BA and Rock are up next with the series finale between the Brewers and Rockies next on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
It's Miller time. By Toyota, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Last day of the road trip today. The Brewers excited to be back at Miller Park tomorrow against the Washington Nationals. Overcast skies here in Denver, Colorado today, 75 degrees. There's actually a little bit of humidity in the air today, which could help these two pitchers. And the Brewers will be facing another left-hander on the mound and another guy they have not seen before. Tyler Matzek making just his 3rd start. Maldonado and Lucroy. Symbolic of how loose this ball club is right now. The Brewers coming in 16 games over 500. Best record in the National League. Ron Renicke's Associated Bank lineup looks like this. With the lefty on the mound, it's Weeks back at the top, then Braun and Lucroy. Middle of the order is Gomez, Ramirez, and Davis. Mark Reynolds starts again at first. Gene Segura at short, and Kyle Loesch will round it out. An 8-game winner this year. And there is Tyler Matzek, making just his 3rd big league start of his career. And, of course, his first against the Milwaukee Brewers. His major league debut was right here at Coors Field And he pitched very well here first time around against Atlanta.
Yes, he did. It was a two runs in 7 innings. His third start here against Milwaukee today. He's got a nice earned run average of 375. He's allowed 8 runs in 18 innings of work. AAA, he was 5-4 with a 405 earned run average. He was a first-round draft choice of the Rockies back in 2009. Now let's check out the Rockies defensively, brought to you by Menards. It was not a very good day yesterday defensively for the Rockies. Did not look very good. Charlie Culberson getting a start at third base. It was Rutledge who really had his problems at third yesterday. He moves around to second base, and Willeen Rosario back behind home plate. He had yesterday off.
So Culberson, more of a third baseman by trade, moving LeMahieu out of the lineup with Rutledge over at second. There is Jerry Lane. He's at second base today. He's excited and ready to go, and he's the crew chief. Got to keep an eye on if we have a replay challenge. Mike DeMuro will call the balls and strikes here today. Matzek ready to deal his first pitch, and Ricky Weeks a bouncer foul, and off we go from Coors Field in Denver. Great to have you with us today on a Sunday afternoon. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. And a lot of rain in Wisconsin. Hopefully things are starting to clear up a little bit now, though. And Brewers are heading back home after this one tonight, starting a series with the Nationals tomorrow and a homestand that'll take us through next weekend. It'll be the Nationals for 3 and these very same Colorado Rockies for 4. 7-game homestand in all. The Brewers are looking forward to it. Weeks getting his second consecutive start. He was in there yesterday. And Ricky hits one high in the air foul, pulling that one in the seats. Weeks did have a hit yesterday. He was 1 for 5. And the hitting has been the story in this series for the Brewers. 22 runs in the first 2 games, 28 hits combined. Milwaukee has 7 doubles in 2 games, 4 homers, and an amazing 34 at-bats with runners in scoring position in this series. As Weeks bangs one over to third. Culberson, nice play. And right away, the defensive move by Walt Weiss pays off.
Well, the ball just rockets through this infield. It's very hard packed. The grass cut very short. And just about everything you're going to make it out in the infield has got to be hit right at you. Culberson making a nice play in the hole, so making his presence felt early on in this game today.
Culberson, a former first-round draft pick by the Giants. He came to Colorado in that Marco Scutaro deal a couple of years ago. And getting his chance at third base this season. Here's Ryan Braun with one away. Ryan with 4 hits in the series. He's 4 for 11. He started Friday night's game 0 for 3 and then had 3 hits in his final 3 at-bats. The Brewers won 13-10, I beg your pardon, on Friday. And then yesterday, Milwaukee won 9-4 behind the terrific pitching of Willie Peralta.
Yeah, doing a nice job with 17 ground ball outs for Willie. That's what you have to do in this ballpark. Keep the ball in the infield, you give yourself a chance, and he did just that. Nicely done. Pitched into the 8th inning.
7 2/3, only 3 earned runs yesterday for Peralta. And considering the kind of ballpark it is, the kind of day it was with the wind blowing out, the ball traveling well, that is a fantastic line for Peralta.
Only 2 strikeouts, but again, a lot of outs early in the count with the ground balls.
Braun takes a strike. You see the fastball of Matzek. It's a good one. He was a first rounder for a reason by the Rockies just 5 years ago. He throws hard. He was the 9th pick overall, but signed for dollars that would have him as the top pick. Nearly $4 million signing bonus. Braun hits a shot. Tulowitzki knocks it down. Throw to first in time. So after a shaky defensive game yesterday by the Rockies, they've had 2 stellar plays in this one.
Yeah, both balls hit pretty well for the Brewers with nothing to show for it. Matzek with another fastball. You're going to see a lot of them. That's a short hop, in between hop to Tulowitzki, and he handles it well. And one of those guys, he always stays right in front of the baseball when he can, and that helped him that time.
So 2 up and 2 down on a couple of ground ball outs, and that'll bring up Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy, a rare poor series, and even at that, he's 1 for 9. He really hasn't had a slump to deal with all season. You could probably call this a slump for Lucroy. That just gives you an idea of how good he's been and how consistent he has been at the plate for Milwaukee. And he flies to right. Long run, Charlie Blackmon. He's got it, and that will retire the side. 1-2-3 inning. Now Kyle Loesch, the Brewers' best winner on the mound at 8-2. He'll try to win number 9 and a sweep of the Colorado Rockies today. But they have packed him in here. A lot of Brewers fans following their ball club this weekend. Walt Weiss, second-year skipper of the Colorado Rockies, former big league shortstop, an outstanding defender in his day. His Associated Bank starting lineup today: Charlie Blackmon leads off, then Drew Stubbs, followed by the league's leading hitter Troy Tulowitzki. Middle of the order is Justin Morneau, the red-hot Corey Dickerson, and Willeen Rosario. Bottom three: Rutledge, Culberson, and Matzik. And that's the lineup that will face Kyle Loesch, looking for a turnaround here at Coors Field. After a brilliant start to his season, his first 15 starts, he has 8 wins.
Yeah, making start number 12 against the Rockies. 5-3 overall, but only 2-3 here at Coors Field. Picked up a win his last time out against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Allowed only 3 earned runs and 3 runs in the first inning, and after that he calmed down and settled down nicely.
Loesch has always had his troubles here at Coors Field. A lot of pitchers have. His earned run average is at 6.63 or 6.67, I beg your pardon, in his 5 previous starts at Coors Field. So hoping to answer some of that here today as Blackmon drops a bunt down. It's a good one. Lucroy spins and fires, and not in time. A bunt single. One of 2 Charlies in the lineup today for the Rockies, and it's Blackmon who singles to start it offensively for Colorado.
Yeah, not a bad bunt. You know, the Rockies would like to be able to work from on top. They haven't been able to do that much. The Brewers have taken it to them pretty well in this series. So Blackmon with pretty good speed, able to get a bunt single to start it out.
Lucroy made a nice play on it. Blackmon runs too well. Rockies have been very aggressive on the base paths in this series. They have 5 stolen bases in the first 2 games. And Blackmon looks like he wants to run. Loesch is very good holding runners.
Yeah, he was leaning, wasn't he?
Drew Stubbs at the plate.
Most of their stolen bases have come on the first pitch. They haven't waited around too much.
Not only does Loesch have a good move to first, he also is very quick to the plate. He does a lot for a catcher containing that running game. Stubbs takes a strike. Stubbs signing with the Colorado Rockies. Very fast center fielder. Brewers know him well from his days in Cincinnati.
Yeah, you have to be pretty fast and cover a lot of ground in this ballpark.
After that long pause by Lowe, Stubbs fouls it away. No balls and 2 strikes. Stubbs last year was with the Cleveland Indians, involved in that trade sending Shin-Soo Choo to the Reds, and Stubbs ended up kind of in a 4th outfielder's role for Cleveland last year, and did not play much in their wild card game, and as they were down in a pennant race in September for the Indians.
Well, to a pretty good start. Never been a guy that's going to hit for a high average, but hitting nearly 290. His biggest attribute are his wheels. When he gets on base, he can be trouble. Rockies have never been known as a team that's going to steal a lot of bases, but that's a little bit different this year, at least lately.
Now the Rockies are without some of their big bats. Brewers are catching Colorado at a good time, and they're going to see him again at Miller Park on Thursday for a 4-game series, but they are without Carlos Gonzalez, who is a former batting champion and an MVP candidate seemingly every year. Michael Kadyr's on the disabled list with a fractured bone in his shoulder. Gonzalez is out with a finger injury. And their talented third baseman, Nolan Arenado, is also on the disabled list with a broken finger. They're expecting all of these players back in the coming weeks. Kadyr's going to be a little while. But some heavy lumber out as Stubbs strikes out. Los goes up the ladder and picks up his first K.
Yeah, which means it's a pretty good time to catch the Colorado Rockies, although even without those 3 guys in the lineup, they can score some runs. Still lead the National League in just about every offensive category, in large part due to the guy coming up.
Tulowitzki's done the heavy lifting this year for the Rockies. Second in the league in homers with 18. He does lead the league in batting. A .362 average. He's 2 homers shy of Giancarlo Stanton, who leads the NL with 20 of the Miami Marlins. Stanton also leads the league in RBIs. Tulowitzki's 5th in that category. And has been a tough out in this series, as he usually is.
Yeah, has been very patient early in the count. It's been seems like it's been routine that the Brewers to get ahead of him 0-2, 1-2, but that doesn't mean much with him up at the plate. Very good 2-strike hitter.
So far, Loesch has kept Blackmon at first base. And there's a strike. You could tell Blackmon is a little frustrated over there. He's been wanting to run, but he has not been able to get good jumps. There's been a couple of false starts over there for him during the Stubbs at bat.
Yeah, Loesch is holding on to the baseball, being a little bit quicker from time to time, and Blackmon not able to time him out.
One man gone to Tulowitzki with Blackmon at first, and another throw over there. Loesch is just such a professional pitcher. Everything he does is with skill. You know, he's learned how to handle the craft. He's not just a thrower. Said he used to be when he first came up with the Twins. Things really didn't change for him until he got to the St. Louis Cardinals and he got under the tutelage of Dave Duncan, but just so well rounded. Blackmon starts and stops again, and Loesch misses up high.
Well, since he started throwing the 2-seam fastball and getting ground balls, he understands how important it is to hold runners, keep them at first base to keep that double play alive. Guys that don't throw hard ordinarily are going to be very cognizant of base runners and field their position well.
Tulowitzki into center field. Back is Gomez, and he'll have room to make this play for out number 2. Well, every ball in the air kind of puts your heart in your throat, and it's been that kind of series. I mean, we're moving into the warmer months. First day of summer officially yesterday, but it's been in the mid to upper 80s here. The wind has been blowing out typically as it whips through the stadium. You go down there and you stand on the field, you can feel the wind off your back. And so the ball has traveled well, and there's been a ton of offense here over the last couple of days.
Even ground balls. I mean, ball just scoots through this infield, and you talk to Ron Renicky and the coaching staff, every out seems to be a grinder in this ballpark.
Here's Justin Morneau. Takes a ball down and in.
Nobody felt real comfortable as the game went on with a 5-run lead yesterday. I know that Ron Redicky was fully prepared to get K-Rod up at some point.
Yes, he was. Even with 2 outs in the 9th inning and a 5-run lead, he said he had his plan all the way mapped out with 4 different pitchers in that inning.
It happens quickly here.
Runner takes off. Lucroy got a good pitch to throw on. The throw is there, and the ball is out of the glove. And Segura is hurt.
Yeah, that might be an error on Segura because he called him out first. The ball was dislodged from the glove, and then the safe call by Jerry Lane.
Segura is so skilled at taking the throw right on the base stealer to make those quick tags, but this time he was in there a little too deep, and Blackmon knocks the ball and the glove off the hand of Segura, knocks the ball out.
Well, ordinarily when you get an out call and then a safe call because the ball was dislodged, it's normally an error. It's ordinarily a caught stealing and an E6, but they're going to give him a stolen base. Now, if he never makes an out call and he waits, it's just a stolen base, but interesting that that's how they scored it.
And Jerry Lane was certainly ringing him up for an out.
And he rung him up, and it took him a while to figure out he didn't have the baseball. So we've seen some interesting scoring decisions in this ballpark this weekend.
Certainly goes in the favor of Blackmon here. He's at second for Justin Morneau. Morneau drove in 5 runs in the opener on Friday. He drove in 2 runs in the first inning yesterday, 2 RBI single, and is now the Rockies leader in runs batted in. Morneau is currently 3rd in the National League in RBIs, behind Goldschmidt and Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah, he's back to his old tricks when he was with the Minnesota Twins, pulling the baseball, hitting homers. There's a couple of years he was just spraying the ball into left field. He could still do that. We've seen that in this series, but he's back to driving the ball again. Once again, healthy.
Morneau so good at going to the opposite field as well. That's where his hit came yesterday. And Loge hits that outside corner. 3-2 the count on Justin Morneau. The red hot Corey Dickerson due up next. Brewers win in order in the first inning against young Tyler Matzik. Rockies threatening here in the bottom of the first. Speedy Blackmon at second base, and that one just missed. Loesch tried to hit the back door with a slider. Morneau draws the walk. First and third with Dickerson coming up.
Now the Brewer pitching staff in this series has done a brilliant job of not walking batters and minimizing base runners because of the lack of walks. That's the one thing you have to do in this ballpark. You know, you talk about the home runs and all the base hits. You start walking batters because you're a little timid in throwing strikes. That's when you get yourself in real trouble. Brewers have not done that in this series.
So here's Corey Dickerson with runners at first and second, and he swings away at the first pitch. Routine fly ball for Gomez as Kyle Loesch gets through the first. The Rockies strand a pair. Scoreless after 1. We head to the second. The Brewers coming up. No score after one. We head to the second inning. The Brewers will have the middle of their order coming up. Gomez, Ramirez, and Davis. How about our carsoup.com trivia question today? Since our Brewers Live crew is in the Dells, we thought we'd ask you which Wisconsin Dells attraction started as a traveling show out of Chicago in 1952.
Craig and Davy?
Everybody knows that one.
Is that Craig and Davy?
Craig and Davy in the Dells.
The traveling show?
Among others. Sophia is there, and Brian Michalogic. I don't think Craig and Davy were involved in 52, though. There's Gomez dropping a bunt down, and he'll reach a base hit. Carlos Gomez runs out of his helmet. Infield hit.
And the hitting streak alive for Gogo. Didn't take long for him.
Gives him 18 consecutive games and 35 consecutive games on base.
Hides that bunt beautifully right at the last second, and no chance for Culberson. So the Brewers turn the favor on a bunt by Blackman to lead off the first inning for Colorado.
So here is the red-hot Ramirez now with back-to-back 3-hit games. Comes in with a batting average of .293 today. Yesterday, Aramis, big part of the show. Brewers won 9-4, and Aramis Ramirez went deep. He drove in the 9th run on his 9th home run on the Powerball home run leaderboard.
And solo shot in the 5th inning. Aramis seeing the baseball well, taking it up the middle, opposite field line, drives down the right field line, and the numbers speak for themselves. This series has been pretty good, to say the least, for Aramis Ramirez.
How about that? 6 for 9 with a home run. He's driven in 4 on this road trip. In 6 games, he has 12 hits through Arizona and Colorado. This is game 7 for him on the road here today. Brewers offense is just clicking on all cylinders right now.
And they picked a pretty good time to do it in Arizona and Colorado. Both ball clubs, or both teams, you've got to outscore them for the most part. Ballpark's conducive for offense, and the Brewers able to put up 22 runs in 2 games here in Denver. Wow.
Now the Brewers are going to face a very tough pitching staff tomorrow as the Nationals come to town. So it'll be a little bit different story, perhaps. And Washington, who features maybe the best starting 5 in the National League, will send up Gio Gonzalez, Jordan Zimmerman, and Steven Strasburg in the 3-game series against the Brew Crew. Three balls and a strike. Ramirez at the plate with Gomez at first, and Aramis sends one out way back. How far will it fly? Aramis Ramirez, a 2-run shot and a no-doubter. That is the first home run that Matzik has allowed in the big leagues this year at his 3rd start, and Aramis got his money's worth.
So we do the open on Aramis Ramirez, so the jinx is broken.
Yeah, usually we have the opposite effect on people.
Right, yeah. Talk about defense. You make 4 errors in a game, but that fastball and a 3-1 count, Ramirez looking for it, squares it up and knocks it out of here. So Kyle Loesch and the Brewers with a 2-0 lead here in the 2nd inning.
Oh, man, that ball was kissed. Ramirez, number 10, 38 runs batted in now. As Davis, that's a fair ball inside the bag at first, down into the right field corner. Blackman able to cut it off, and Chris Davis with the 3rd consecutive hit of the inning.
Man, how good has this kid been, too? I mean, driving the ball to the opposite field. He's got that batting average up over 260. And just lets it get to him right off the front hip and drives it out of the reach of Justin Morneau and down into right field. Man, this Brewer offense is Every one of these guys putting good swings on the baseball, not trying to pull it, hitting it where it's pitched.
Brewers as a team right now batting .260. Been a juggernaut on this road trip as Mark Reynolds shoots one through the hole, a base hit. First ball swinging for Reynolds, and it's the 4th consecutive hit of the inning. Reynolds has his 3rd hit of this series, and 2 on with nobody out. 2 runs already in.
Yeah, kind of the way things went yesterday. The Brewers went 3 up, 3 down in the first, and then put a 4 spot on Friedrich, the left-hander, and looking to do the same here today.
Inning started with a bunt single, an infield hit by Gomez. Ramirez the homer, back-to-back singles, Davis and Mark Reynolds. Gene Segura with 2 on and nobody out. Segura looks like he's all right after that collision at the bag with Charlie Blackmon last inning.
And it looked like it might have been some type of a wrist injury. Maybe bends his wrist back on the tag as the ball got there. And good to see him that he's okay. He's been swinging the bat well too.
Well, depth at shortstop is not a position the Brewers have a lot of, and really there aren't many major league teams that have a whole lot of depth at the shortstop position. Good shortstops usually find their way to the big leagues.
Right. And you know, when you have one that goes out, your starter, it's a big drop off for any team.
Colorado Rockies can attest to that after losing Tulowitzki for a good part of the schedule, and through the years Tulowitzki has been injured, the Rockies have typically struggled.
And a good slider that time from Matson. He hadn't thrown too many. It's been mainly fastballs. And the Brewers are zeroing in. That was a very good 2-0 pitch.
Two balls and a strike on Segura. A 2 on and a check on Davis. Yeah, they're saying there's a little bit of humidity in the air, more than is normally the case here.
Which means there's just some?
Just some. Just
it exists?
46% humidity right now. That is the official up-to-the-minute humidity check. So what is it normally here, Rock? Down in the 10%,
8%?
Yeah,
not
like
very
that.
humid at all here.
So humidity is a big deal for pitchers in Colorado.
That's a pretty dry day in the summer in Wisconsin. 46%.
And Segura draws the walk. So Gene Segura is aboard. The bases are loaded. 5 consecutive base runners. And that'll bring the pitcher Kyle Loesch to the plate. And the Brewers trying to turn this one into a monster second inning. Loesch has been known to spray a few in the outfield. Kyle has 6 hits this year. He's hitting 182. Not a bad number for a pitcher. And he takes a fastball strike at 93. That's a little bit above his cruising speed for Kyle Loesch. You're going to have to get it started a little earlier.
Yeah, this kid's got a good arm, Matzik. I mean, he throws hard. Just not able to get the Brewers to chase this breaking pitch at this point.
Loesch swings and misses. AT&T U-verse rewind. The last time the Brewers had the bases loaded and the pitcher at the plate. The play that everybody's talking about. The wild pitch and the E2 that turned into 3 runs.
Gene Segura just kind of sauntering into third base and realizing nothing's going on. Pitcher still has the ball. McHenry had his head down. What a heads-up play by Segura, all on his own.
Walt Weiss intentionally walked Segura to load the bases with the pitcher Peralta coming up, thinking this is the way out of the inning with no damage. And Peralta ended up striking out, but that crazy play resulting in 3 runs, and it pushed the Brewers' lead at the time to 8-2.
It was interesting that Michael McHenry, the catcher, was standing right on top of home plate, but hands on the knees, head down. He said he felt a little bit lightheaded. Felt like he tweaked something in his neck area. Wasn't all with it at that point. That's why he wasn't able to make a throw or catch a throw.
Bounce to third, step on the bag for the first out. They get the second out at second base. That is a risky play by Culberson. The run does score.
I think Rosario was looking for a play at home plate, step on the bag, throw home. But he elected to go around the horn, thinking maybe a triple play. But Kyle Loesch runs pretty well for a pitcher. I mean, this is the way you get a triple play right here. This is, I think, what he was thinking. A pitcher's running, might not get down there quick enough, and maybe get a triple play, but it didn't happen.
He does get 2 outs. No RBI for Loesch. Reaches on a fielder's choice, and that putout goes 5-4, wiping out 2 base runners, Reynolds and Segura. So here is Weeks back to the top of the order. Brewers have owned the second inning in this series. And after 3 runs in here in this second inning, that is now 8 runs on 9 hits in inning number 2 of these 3 games. If you're playing the second inning fantasy game,
yeah,
you're the winner.
Middle of the order, getting it done, I guess, right? Back-to-back days, 3 up, 3 down in the first, and then a combined 7 runs in 2 games in the second inning.
Now Weeks trying to add to it. Had an RBI triple in yesterday's game. Ricky grounding out in the first. Took a good play over there by Charlie Culberson to get him. It's one thing we've seen about this infield, boy. Any baseballs on the ground with any kind of heat on them, they're going to sneak through if they're not right at an infielder. Very fast track. This could stay playable. Culberson is there for the out, and the inning is over. But the Brewers score 3 runs. Aramis Ramirez with a 2-run homer, his 7th hit in the series, his 2nd homer in the series. The Brewers on the board first here this afternoon. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Marshfield Clinic, don't just live, shine. And by Gerhard's, the kitchen and bath store. Find inspiration for your home, remodel, or new construction project at Gerhardt's. Good crowd on a Sunday afternoon here at Coors Field in Denver. 3-0 Brew Crew. Our Carsoup.com trivia question: which Wisconsin Dells attraction started as a traveling show out of Chicago in '52? And if you said the Tommy Bartlett ski show, you would be right. Wisconsin Dells, the famous ski show. 62 years this renowned water ski show has thrilled audiences. It's a 90-minute show. Got everything you could want. Very entertaining.
I've seen it. Do you water ski?
Do you like the masterful boat maneuvers or the lighthearted comedy? Or are you a fan of the daredevil stunt artist on stage?
Yeah, that's what I like. Yeah.
That's what I'm
right
talking
there.
about.
I mean, how do you do that? Do you water ski?
No, I don't water ski.
Have you ever?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Spent a lot of time out there. I was thinking about going pro and going to the Tommy Bartlett school, but decided I'd join you in the booth instead. As Rosario swings and misses at a breaking ball, 0-2. Now, I always wore glasses growing up.
Yeah.
And I had contacts, and water skiing and contacts, it doesn't fly, and you can't really go goggles either. That doesn't fly. You lose a lot of cool points that way. So.
Right. In that time of your life, you were trying to impress the ladies, right?
Segura coming in, and the throw is a little bit late and up the line. That was a very slow grounder. Rosario hustling his way to an infield hit.
Yeah, both hits the infield variety. Blackman with a bunt single. And let's check out the Brewers as they line up defensively. Brought to you by Menards today. Kyle Loesch back on the mound. The Brewers 8-2 this season and doing an outstanding job in their fielding percentage this year. One of the better, tighter defenses in the National League. Segura, what a game he had in yesterday's game.
No question about that. He was just so good defensively, just making very difficult plays look routine. Here's Josh Rutledge getting the call at second base today. DJ LeMahieu is out of the lineup. Rutledge moving from third to second. Rutledge was put in a tough spot yesterday. He's playing a position he's not familiar with as they try to fill the gaps before Arenado comes back. And Rutledge is a very good defender. He's a shortstop coming up through the Rockies minor league system. But he was out of position yesterday, and you just got the sense he was trying to do too much yesterday, trying to make too many great plays, and it ended up costing him. He had a couple of errors in yesterday's game. The Rockies committed 4 errors, leading to 5 unearned runs.
Well, it's not just as easy. You think if you can play shortstop, you can play anywhere on the infield, but it's a little bit more than that. A few things you have to deal with at third base that you don't have to worry about at short.
Braun drifting back and has to make the catch going back. Rosario tags, and the throw comes in late. Rosario with good heads-up base running. As Braun was drifting, I think that ball was hit a little better than he thought. It's the first out of the inning, but Rosario ends up in scoring position.
And because of that, and Rosario realized that Braun was heading back on his way toward the wall as he caught it, it would be a difficult throw into second base. Now, Braun gets all the way back and then comes in to catch the baseball. I think Rosario stays at first base. Right here, he realized it's going to be a tougher play than he thinks, and even the catcher able to get into second base and take away the double play.
Here's Charlie Culberson. Rockies hoping to be rewarded with a pretty shrewd trade. Back in 2012, the Rockies were out of it. The Giants were in it, and the Giants acquiring Marco Scutaro from Colorado. And remember how great Scutaro was for Colorado, or rather for San Francisco, in their World Series year of 2012. And the Rockies got a first rounder in return who can play all around the infield. Talented young third baseman, a former first rounder in Culberson, and starting to get some time in the big leagues now. Culberson hitting 8th in the batting order in a line drive. Weeks able to knock it down. Now they're going to send Rosario. Weeks' throw to the plate And it's too late. Aggressive base running by the Rockies, and they cash in a run.
Well, Ricky got there, but for some reason the ball hit the glove and just caromed out right away. A little bit hard hands for Ricky on the backhand, and not much on the throw at all. I think a good throw, he gets him at home plate. That'll be a base hit, and I would imagine an RBI.
So Culberson puts the Rockies on the board. It's 3-1 Milwaukee after the Brewers score 3 in the top of this inning. And now the pitcher Tyler Matzek is coming up. Matzek showing bunt and a check on the runner at first.
Every out's like pulling teeth in this ballpark. It really is. I mean,
there's 27 of them.
Everything that's hit, you think right away it's a base hit. You got to make some tremendous play, even on the ground.
27 root canals.
It is. I mean, this infield is so hard.
Runner takes off, and the throw is dropped by Segura. Nobody is there for the ball, so Culberson advances to third base. Man, the Brewers are now kicking the ball. Segura might be remembering that collision last inning, and he pulled the trap back. Looked like he had an out at second base if he makes that catch.
That's got to be an E6. I mean, it's a pretty good throw by Lucroy. Maybe tails a little bit. You got to catch that ball. Catch it, make an out. Well, the Brewers, we talk about defense, how good it's been. And the official scorer here has got to get a clue. I mean, they gave Lucroy an error on that throw. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's like flipping a coin in this ballpark.
Yeah, that's a tough error on Lucroy. That's a play that Segura's got to make. Now the pitcher is there with the infield end for the Brewers, and Loesch having to deal with a runner at third base. Ball popped out of Weeks' glove, led to a run. Should have had an out there. 2 outs, nobody on, and the pitcher at the plate. That's an easy way through an inning for Loesch. He's grinding here. Put it right by Matzek. 2-2 the count.
Well, get you out here and deal with the leadoff hitter. Get out of this mess. I'll tell you, Loesch deserves a better fate. All 3 hits have been infield hits. A run in, and the Rockies are threatening once again.
Loesch could use a strikeout, and a bouncer to short. Segura looks the runner back, and there is out number 2.
Hey, the Brewers return to Miller Park, ready for a 3-game series with Stephen Strasburg and the Washington Nationals tomorrow through Wednesday. Tickets are just $9. Call 414-902-4000 or visit Brewers.com to reserve your spot at the ballpark today.
Loesch with 2 outs, a runner at third. Back to the top of the order now, and Charlie Blackmon, who reached on an infield hit in the first. He stole a base. That could have just as easily been an out. And Blackmon into right field. Braun with room. He just missed it on the bat. And Loesch minimizes the damage. Just 1 run in. 3-1 Brewers. 2 in the books. The Rockies 3-1. We head to the top of the third inning here at Coors Field in Denver. Our Feldco All-Star voting update. Remember, you can vote 25 times per email account. I think they actually give you some bonus votes if you do it online at Brewers.com. Trying to push Lucroy and Gomez right now, the two most realistic chances to make it to the All-Star game as starters. Probably just Gomez at this point, but do your part. Don't forget, later tonight, look for the latest All-Star ballot results for the American League on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball coverage.
Still snow out there. Did you ski?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I skied all the time. Big skier. Probably right there on that mountain.
You think? Wow.
I'm actually a black belt in skiing. Is that a thing?
Black belt?
Here's Ryan Braun to start it for the Brewers. We skied a lot as a kid. We came here to Colorado all the time. Breckenridge, Copper Mountain.
Bunny Hill, is that where you were?
And then times got a little tough.
Bunny Hill?
Into my teenage years. Braun bounces to short. Tulowitzki takes care of Ryan Braun for the second consecutive at-bat. One away here in the third inning.
Bunny Hill or Black Diamond? Which one were you?
Advanced? Oh, no, you'd be surprised. See, you'd kid around like that, but no, we did the blacks. Always.
No, you didn't.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely, Rock.
You know, Paco's coming into town this week.
He'll be able to validate all of that. Of course, he doesn't remember anything past 1999.
I'm going to ask him.
Jonathan Lucroy at the plate with one away. There's a strike. By the way, Rock, you'll be interested to know today is the last day to ski Arapahoe Basin. So maybe after the game, before the bus leaves, you could get in a couple of runs. Beautiful scenery here.
It is.
What a great place. Arapahoe Basin, downtown Denver in the summer. A lot to recommend here at Coors Field. If you ever want to follow the Brewers on the road, this is one spot we highly recommend you come. There's a shot right to Tulowitzki.
It's kind of the way it's gone for Lucroy. You've been talking about not getting his hits in this series, but he's had a few of those. Both in the air and on the ground. Hit that one right on the nose, but right at Tulowitzki. Didn't even have to move. Hang with him.
So 2 up, 2 down. Here is Gomez. Started the rally in the second. The Brewers put the first 5 batters on base, and this is going to be another one to Tulowitzki. 6-pitch inning for Tyler Matzek. 3 up, 3 down. The Brewers in order. in Denver. Now, Fox Sports Supports is proud to collaborate with Stand Up to Cancer, a groundbreaking initiative created to accelerate innovative cancer research that gets new therapies to patients quickly in order to save lives now. For more information, visit foxsportsupports.com. Loesch back on the mound. We head to the bottom of the third inning. It'll be Drew Stubbs, Troy Tulowitzki, and Justin Morneau to lead it off. First pitch swinging, Stubbs fouls it back. The skies are darkening up a little bit.
Yeah, they are.
Some weather in the area. From what we're told is a lot of the rain clouds, the thunderstorms come off the mountains, but it's so dry here that once they get down to where we are, downtown level, they just dry up and evaporate. Yesterday they put the tarp on the field before the game, and it never rained.
Well, and the cover's on the tarp right now, which is a good sign, which means they're not really expecting a lot of rain.
There's a strike to Stubbs. See, that's a veteran eye right there.
Yeah.
Because the tarp is white. So that's the cover.
Right.
As long as that's on, we're in good shape, you're saying.
Yeah. Well, for the time being anyway.
Very astute observation. You've really been on your game with some of the ancillary analysis over this road trip. I got to tell you.
You know, the one thing that's a little disappointing is, you know, those condos that they're building along over the beyond the left field fence out there. It's taken away a lot of the nice views that you can see out in the mountains out there. Can't see them now.
Awful rude of them to block our view. They'll probably hardly make any money filling those up either. Downtown condos right by the ballpark.
Very rude for us visiting broadcasters.
This ballpark has been one of the models to show how impactful baseball can be in a downtown setting with a new ballpark. They've totally renovated, rejuvenated this lower downtown district of Denver, Colorado. And it's one of the thriving downtowns in the country. Love coming here. 2-2 to Stubbs and a base hit. Third straight inning, Kyle Loesch has allowed the lead base runner aboard.
Yeah, Stubbs able to go out and get a cut fastball from Kyle and bang it back through the middle. So once again, good speed at first base. Blackman in the first. Now Drew Stubbs.
And that brings up the dangerous Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki has good numbers lifetime against Kyle Loesch. A .333 hitter and 18 career at-bats coming in. He does have a homer against Loesch as well.
Kyle's trying to work in that curveball. That, you know, curveballs really don't work a whole lot very well in this ballpark. Not normally, but as you mentioned, a lot of humidity today. Might be a little bit different. You're into the humidity today.
Well, I feel like it's a major storyline.
Yeah. He's thrown a few curveballs, not many.
I mean, when humidity has its moment, you can't let it pass by. It's often forgotten in the weather spectrum.
Here, we have plenty of it back home.
What does humidity have to do with a pitcher? I mean, obviously it's a big deal because all the pitchers are talking about it.
Humidity, it's easier to grip the baseball, that's for sure. I mean, the leather softens up a little bit. Humidity means there's moisture in the air, and most people think because of that, the ball might not travel as well. There are some that disagree with that.
And you get a better grip on the ball to throw breaking balls and
when
such.
the leather's a little bit softened up or a little bit more pliable, you can grip it better.
It's so dry here in Denver, they installed about, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, a humidor here to keep moisture in the baseballs. I walked right by the humidor today. It's full of baseballs.
Was it working?
I think it does work. 2002 they installed the humidor, and the numbers have changed a little bit. It's still a tough place to pitch, of course. Jeff Cirillo always had the thought that the humidor adds a little weight to the baseball, which adds to arm injuries for pitchers. He said when he played here, throwing the ball always used to bother him a little more than it did elsewhere. There goes the runner. Lucroy's throw to second is late. Stubbs got a great jump, and he can fly. And the Rockies continue to steal bases in this series. That's their 7th bag in this series so far.
It should have been their first today. They've been able to steal 3. And this is easy for Drew Stubbs.
So Tulowitzki retired, but it is a stolen base for Stubbs. And here's Justin Morneau now. Second strikeout for Loesch. And a pickoff play, no throw by Loesch. Second base is the last bag you can fake to anymore. No more fakes to third. Never been able to fake a throw to first. You can do anything when you step off the rubber and fake a throw, but as far as jumping with your foot engaged on the rubber.
Well, and in theory, I mean, there's no way you can, even fake a throw or go to second base without taking your foot off the rubber. Just spin around. I guess that's the thinking there by baseball.
Morneau fouls it back. Loesch is content to stay away from Morneau. Tried to get him on a backdoor breaking ball in the first inning. Ended up walking him.
Stay away from his power a little bit. You try and work him inside. Morneau has great power to right field. More of a singles hitter, doubles hitter to the opposite field.
Morneau hit a bomb out of here off Estrada on Friday. Pulled one into the second level, and he just missed that one. Pop up in the infield. Drifting out in the grass now, and Weeks will make the catch right in the palm of his glove. Yikes. That was close.
You got
AT&T fan photo. Remember, you can use the hashtag #WisFanPhoto. Tweet us your photo. We'll show it in an upcoming broadcast if it is worthy, in the opinion of Brad Weimer. All courtesy of AT&T. Speaking of Brad Weimer, our producer, he has been tasked with the challenge of producing a 1-hour pregame show tomorrow as the Brewers return home. A 1-hour extravaganza before the Brewers and the Nationals tomorrow. So we hope you'll make plans to join us. There's going to be some instruction. You're going to be down there with Johnny Naron. We're planning on a few sit-downs with players, trying to get into a little bit of the skills of their craft and how they go about their business. So we hope you'll join us tomorrow. 6 p.m. Central, we're on the air.
Yeah, we're going to allow folks to eavesdrop on the conversation, a little bit of the banter that I had with Johnny Naron around the batting cage while the Brewers take BP. It's always interesting.
Carlos Gomez has agreed to wear a microphone tomorrow. That'll be fun during batting practice. We'll have to have Sophia there maybe to translate a little bit. Gomez speaks great English.
Yeah, right.
So we'll be able to do both Spanish and English. So that's tomorrow at 6 on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Game 1 of the Nationals series begins a little after 7. 3 games with Washington, and then 4 with the Rockies beginning Thursday.
The Brewers are going to be glad to be at Miller Park for a nice long week homestand. Seems like the team hasn't been there much. They haven't. 3 games.
Now you look at the month of June. The Brewers, this is their 15th road game in the month of June. It's June 22nd. They're 10-4 right now. But they played well on the road.
Yes, they have. They have not lost a series in this long stretch of road games. The only series they've lost in this stretch was that Cincinnati series at home.
The Brewers have won 5 of 6 on this road trip. And while they have been swept here in Denver 20 times in franchise history by the Rockies, they've only swept Colorado once. That was a decade ago Brewers have already secured a series win. There's a strike. About the outside corner. Dickerson disagrees.
Yeah, he was on his way to first base. I thought it was a ball too. But Fox Tracks doesn't lie. Has it right at the top of the strike zone, but that pitch very rarely called a strike.
Dickerson, who flew out on the first pitch in the first inning. Now in a 3-2 count, you see Loesch how he's trying to pitch him. 3-1 Brewers. Runner at second, 2 away. And down and in. Ball 4. Loesch walks Corey Dickerson. That's the first walk allowed by Loesch to go along with Colorado's 4 hits. Willeen Rosario, the Rockies catcher, will bat with 2 on and 2 outs. Rosario had a hit his last time up, an infield hit. Hit a slow roller out to Segura. Bang bang play at first. Rosario spent a little time on the disabled list earlier this year as well. Had a viral infection in mid-May. Missed 12 games. Been that kind of year for the Colorado Rockies. They've had a lot of disabled list time this year by some of their key players.
Yeah, 10 of their 25 guys that broke spring training have been on the disabled list or still on the DL.
And Rosario, this is trouble. That's going to get down, and it's going to go to the track. 2 runs are in for Colorado, and this game is tied on a Rosario double.
Well, pitch up in the strike zone, and Rosario didn't try and pull it. Fastball up. Rosario goes with it into the gap, and by the time Gomez gets there, Dickerson, who's got great speed, able to score from first base. So just like that with 2 outs, a walk and a double, and the Rockies tie it up.
Double number 12 for Rosario to go along with 7 homers. All even at 3 here. Here's Josh Rutledge with the go-ahead run at second, and Rutledge takes a ball. Rutledge yesterday was 0 for 4. He hit 6th in the lineup yesterday. He's batting 7th this afternoon. Flew out to right his first time up. 3 balls, no strikes. Charlie Culberson would be next. Loesch making his second start of this road trip. His offense picked him up in a big way in Arizona back on the 17th of June. That was the second game of that series with the Diamondbacks. There's ball 4. Rutledge draws a walk. 2 walks in the inning for Loesch to go along with 2 hits. And here comes Charlie Culberson now.
Man, just can't seem to get comfortable out on that mound. I mean, location's not been very good for Kyle for the most part. Having a tough time locating his slider.
Rick Kranitz, the Brewer pitching coach.
You mentioned the one thing the Brewers have been really doing a good job of out on the mound is throwing strikes and not walking batters. Loesch already with 3 walks here in the first 3 innings.
26 pitch inning for Loesch. Loesch is getting the most run support of the Brewers starters. He's averaging over 6 runs a game of offense behind him. Big part of that 8-2 record, and the ERA of 3.09 coming in. 2 on, 2 out. Charlie Culberson at the plate, and a swing and a miss. Took a big hack. Loesch left that game in Arizona behind in the game. That was the Lucroy grand slam. After Kirk Gibson and the Diamondbacks hit Ryan Braun intentionally. And Loesch was already out of the game at that point. It was the next half inning for the Brewers, and they took the lead in that inning, and they held on to win. So Loesch picked up win number 8. No balls, 2 strikes. Count remains at 0-2. The Brewers started this road trip 3.5 up on the Cardinals. Cardinals have won today behind Carlos Martinez. He beat Kyle Kendrick. And the Cardinals beat the Phillies 5-3. Split that 4-game series. Shallow center field. Gomez eases over, and he's got it for the out. Actually carries a little deeper than I thought. Inning over, the Rockies get 2, and we're tied at 3.
Fourth inning in a 3-3 ball game. Aramis is the subject of our Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery. In the second inning, Aramis going deep for the 10th time this season. That's the 7th hit of this series, the 13th hit of this road trip. And I had a chance to talk to Ron Renicky about Aramis before today's game, and he said even though he got off to a strong start to the season, he was pulling a lot of balls, but now he feels like he's going extremely well because he's spraying the ball all over the field, and that is the main key when you look at how well Aramis is seeing the ball at the plate. And that home run came to left field, but a lot of his hits have come to center and right center so far this series, B.A.
All right, Telly, thanks. And Ramirez has always been such a great run producer, and he's in the final year of his contract this year with the Brewers, so it is a big year for him personally, for the Brewers as a team.
You can really say that about any hitter. I mean, when they start staying on the baseball and driving it up the middle and hitting to the opposite field, whether you're a left-handed or a right-handed hitter, that's when you start getting pitches to pull. And not just getting hits over there, driving the baseball to the opposite field. That's what Aramis has been doing. Chris Davis does it. Ryan Braun does it. They all do it right now. They're all having a good approach at the plate, not trying to pull everything. Because if you establish a pattern and the opposition knows that you're just trying to pull everything, you're not going to see anything inside.
2 balls and a strike on Ramirez. 3-1 now. This is year 17 for Ramirez. The 3rd start for Matzek of his career. Ramirez has 7 100 RBI seasons, including one with the Brewers in 2012. He drove in 105 in his first year with Milwaukee. He led the league in doubles that year with 50. He pushed Overbay's franchise record that season. Hit 27 homers. In the air to left, and he pulled it foul. Key for Ramirez is staying healthy. If he's able to get on the field, and he missed 3 weeks of the schedule earlier this season, he's going to put up the numbers. To right field for Blackmon. There is out number 1 for Tyler Matzek.
And since he's come off the disabled list, he hasn't needed a day off, which means that leg's feeling pretty good. Ron Renicky has told him not to push it too much, so he's not running 100% all the time. He does when he needs to, but on a ball like that, just take it easy. It's more important for Ramirez to be able to stay in the game.
Here's Chris Davis now. He singled his last time up. He shot one between Morneau at first and the bag. Davis now with 13 home runs on the season. Hit a 2-run home run on Friday night that tied the game. And he tops the Powerball home run leaderboard. He and Mark Reynolds with 13. Gomez with 12. Braun's in there with 10. And now Ramirez with 10 as well.
And Brewers still second in the league in home runs. Behind these Colorado Rockies. No surprise there.
The Brewers as a team have been able to raise their team batting average 4 points on this road trip. That may not sound like much, but this time of the year with so many at-bats stacked up, as Davis bounces to second for out number 2. Good play over there by Josh Rumlich. But you think about how many at-bats, how many hits, and to go on one road trip and be able to raise your batting average as a team that much. It gives you an idea of how well they swung the bats on this current road trip. Game 7 so far.
Well, it's been about a month now that they've been swinging the bats well. 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks or so. And I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but everybody's talking about it when Ron Renicky shook the lineup up a bit.
Reynolds, and a backhanded diving catch by Rutledge. Takes a hit away from Mark Reynolds. Atoning for a couple of errors yesterday. Rutledge makes it a 3-up, 3-down inning.
And today's Time of the Game winner, Linebackers Sports Bar in Manitowoc. They call the Brewers in the next 24 hours. They get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and our good friends at Miller Lite.
Kyle Loesch back at work as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Loesch needs a good inning here. Has labored a little bit through his first three thus far. The Rockies have had a ton of base runners. Facing the pitcher, Matzik to start it. A defensive swing, and it's 0-2. Rockies have put at least 2 men on base in all 3 innings. Last inning, they had 4 reach base on 2 hits and 2 walks.
Yeah, it was a 30-pitch inning for Loesch. That's a lot of pitches in one inning. He needs a quick one.
There's a called strike 3, so Matzik is out on 3 pitches. Hades 360 at Mount Olympus is the world's first upside-down wooden roller coaster. The largest coaster in the park. Hades 360 also features a drop of 134 feet, a 90-degree turn, underground, and a speed of 70 miles an hour. Hades 360 at Mount Olympus. Fun for the whole family.
Yeah. I guess you're a roller coaster guy, right?
Yep. Oh, absolute thrill seeker, Rock. You're starting to get the trend here.
Yeah.
All about the thrills.
Black Diamond Run, roller coasters.
Yep. Water skiing, barefooted.
I water skied back in the day, not anymore.
How'd the boat come out?
A good one.
About like that horse in Arizona.
I had a 205 horsepower inboard outboard to get me and some of my bigger friends. Yeah, it needed a lot of horsepower to get me out of the water.
It's
Right.
the first couple of feet.
Draw a lot of water.
It's like pulling a stump out of the ground.
Actually, almost sunk a boat one time. Put the back right in the water. They said, "Let go."
Swim back. You're a big man.
Yeah, I can't help it.
Right off the end of the bat. Weeks waiting back. Got to hustle it over to first, and it is just in time to get Blackman.
Yeah, good change up. Good off-speed pitch by Kyle Loesch. Needs a quick inning. Make up for that 30-pitch third inning.
Baby at the ballpark.
Yeah.
Dad's got it covered up. Literally. No sweat. Baby might like a little rain, actually.
A little bit of fine mist falling here in the ballpark, but grounds crew doesn't seem too worried about it.
And how do we know the grounds crew's not worried about it?
There they are.
That's not the reason.
You always have to watch between innings. If the head groundskeeper goes and talks to the home plate umpire,
Yes.
or in this case, crew chief Jerry Lane, that's when you got to start being concerned. Haven't seen that.
As long as the cover is on the tarp, we're confident. A strike to Stubbs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lowe's trying to make this a quick 4th inning. He is on the attack here. 2 quick outs. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Drew Stubbs, and he just missed inside.
Yeah, Stubbs got a base hit on the changeup his last time up, so Loesch is trying to keep the fastball in on his hand, see if he can handle that.
Bouncer to third, Ramirez. A low throw dug out by Reynolds, and that'll end the inning. 13 pitches for Loesch. That was a good one for him. 3 up and 3 down.
Fall. It's a 3-3 ball game. Time to check in with the crew and the community. On July 26th, Brewers Community Foundation will again host more than 4,000 walkers and runners at Miller Park for the 5K Famous Racing Sausages Run/Walk. The event is an annual favorite. Proceeds will support Fisher House, a needed hospitality house for families of injured military receiving support from the Veterans Administration Hospital. This race provides a unique opportunity to run with the sausages into Miller Park along the warning track. See yourself on the scoreboard as you zoom to the finish line. Sells out every year. Go to brewers.com/BCF to register. And once again, I'll be a part of it. So BA and Rock, when you guys were looking at me like I had a second head yesterday as I was leaving the hotel for my run, that's what I was preparing for.
Oh, you're going to participate this year?
Yeah, it'll be my 4th year, actually.
Telly's he's going to cover both the run and the walk part of it.
We weren't so surprised, Telly, that you were going out for a run. It was those bright orange sneakers that caught my eye.
Yep, and the bag of donuts you had with you, too. That gave it away.
Hey, I got to have something to occupy my time on the walk back.
Now Segura leads away for the Brewers. Segura, Loesch, and then Ricky Weeks. We're all tied at 3 here. Final game of this series. Brewers have won the series with the first 2 victories to secure that. They've only won 4 series in 20 series played in this ballpark's history, believe it or not. This has been a very tough play for Milwaukee to play. Segura to Tulowitzki. Well, suddenly Tyler Matzek is rolling right along here. He got himself into trouble with 5 consecutive base runners in the second, but got a double play ball from Loesch and has not allowed a base runner since. That's 8 straight retired by Matzek.
Yeah, they like this young guy. I mean, he's been throwing the baseball pretty well. Had a decent year down in the minor leagues, and first 2 starts were pretty good. 1-1, a 375 earned run average. He's got that funky delivery, that left-hander. He kind of slings that arm behind his back and then comes from high 3/4, hiding the baseball a little bit. Got a little bit of velocity behind his fastball. There's a good slider.
Does it help at all that the Brewers will see lefties in 3 consecutive games? You got Gio Gonzalez on the mound tomorrow for Washington.
Yeah, a little bit different styles, but still in all, I mean, very similar arm slot. But yeah, Ricky Weeks, you figure you're going to get another start tomorrow.
Low strikes out.
I guess if they throw a little bit differently, it really doesn't much matter. I mean, you have similar styles, it could help. Hey, with kids and seniors discount days, kids 14 and under and seniors 60 plus save up to 50% on weekday afternoon games at Miller Park. For details, call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com/fan values today.
So Matzek is retired 10 in a row now. And here is Ricky Weeks.
The Brewers have done pretty well against lefties so far this year. In games started by left-handed pitchers. That doesn't mean they beat that left-handed pitcher. 13-5.
Well, they beat Friedrich yesterday. They lost to Wade Miley earlier on this road trip. All across the board, the Brewers statistically, it's been a banner year. Great pitching, great starting pitching. You break it down into relievers, starters, terrific numbers throughout. Putting together one of the better back ends of the bullpen that exist in the major leagues right now, with Will Smith setting up for Frankie Rodriguez. Both of those pitchers have pitched at an all-star caliber level this season. K-Rod got his league-leading save here on Friday night. 24 saves for Frankie Rodriguez.
It's a full bullpen down there right now. 8 pitchers down in the pen for Milwaukee, leaving them a little bit short on the bench, but it really hasn't hurt them at this point.
Weeks bounces to third. Culberson cannot get the handle on it, and Ricky is aboard. That was going to be a tough play for Culberson. And that'll be an interesting scoring decision. Weeks does not run as well as he once did. That would have been an automatic infield hit a couple of years ago.
Well, that's an error. I mean, that's an error. And a third baseman in the big league's got to make that play. That's right, just about right at him. Had to back up a little bit. But you never know here, the way this guy makes his decisions.
Well, keeps the inning alive. No official scoring has come down just yet. As Ryan Braun will bat. Tie ball game, 2 outs. We play in the 5th inning. Braun has seen Matzek twice now. He's hit the ball on both occasions to Tulowitzki at short. And the official scoring has just come down. That is a base hit for Weeks. Infield hit.
A 2-hopper to third base.
Weeks will take it. He's 1 for 3. That snaps a string of 10 in a row retired by Matzek.
Was that an extraordinary play that he had to make to get that out?
I didn't think so.
You're not amazed, though. I guess you got to be used to it at this point, right?
I'm just a journalist here. I'm just
sitting
reporting.
on the fence. Is that what you're doing?
Reporting what I see. They call it a hit. I put a hit down. And that gets away from Rosario. That pitch ate him up. And Weeks to second base. What should be a passed ball. Got to put a runner in scoring position here.
I wouldn't put it down yet.
All right. Good point. Let me erase that. I do write in pencil.
Okay, it is a pass ball. Put it back.
Let me put it back then.
Man, that's a pass ball if I ever saw one. That got kind of handcuffed Rosario back there and to the screen. So a man in scoring position.
See if Braun can give the Brewers the lead. Weeks with a good lead at second. Braun takes one outside. The other thing on the scoring, not to, I want to back you up here, but they get changed a lot between innings or later in the game.
Yeah.
So I think it's happened on 4 occasions in this series.
Well, already today they changed the error on the throw to second base from Lucroy to Segura.
That's right. We've had one each day. That one almost got away as well. So on 4 pitches, Ryan Braun draws the walk. And now 2 on with 2 away. And here comes Jonathan Lucroy. Second walk issued by Matzek, which was his trouble coming up through the Rockies minor league system. Had major command problems. Big Jim Wright, the Rockies pitching coach, out to settle down his young hurler.
Yeah, down in the minor leagues, he had 31 walks, 61 strikeouts, and 66 in the 2/3 innings. That's a lot. And already in 3 starts has walked 11.
Well, Matzek was drafted in the first round as a 17-year-old high schooler. He was actually going to college and going pre-med. So it took nearly $4 million to get him to sign. But there was one point in his minor league career 2 years ago as a bonus maybe first rounder where he actually quit. He walked away from the game for about a month. He couldn't throw strikes. He was walking a lot of hitters. He went back to his high school instructor to help get him right again, and that seemed to have helped.
Never give up if you're a left-handed pitcher that can throw in the mid-90s.
Here's Lucroy now. Big spot for the Brewers with 2 on, 2 out. And another pitch out of the strike zone. 5 consecutive balls thrown by Matzek.
And Luke is due. Hit one right on the nose his last time up.
That was a line drive right to Tulowitzki for the out. Runners take off, and Lucroy in the right field, a base hit. Weeks around to score. Braun stopped, now restarts. He's in at third. Lucroy going to try to stay in a rundown here. Braun's got to go. The throw to the plate, and safe at home, out at second. Rosario let Braun score.
What was that? Wow.
So the Brewers get 2 runs out of that. The run does count. And it's 5-3 as we go to a break.
First of all, Ryan Braun misses second base, so he has to go back and tag the bag. Charlie Blackmon's throw comes in off the mark. Now they have Braun in a rundown, or I should say Lucroy in a rundown, and instead Rosario, instead of tagging Braun, he gets the out at second base. So that's going to be a 9-5 to 3-2 to 6 put out. And why Rosario did not tag out Ryan Braun, I can't tell you, but there's our Southwest Airlines non-stoppable play. Lucroy getting in a rundown long enough. And Rosario gets the out at second base, but allows Braun to score.
Yeah, the run scores before the out was recorded at second, so 2 in. Lucroy gets an RBI, and it's 5-3 Brewers. Well, Colorado has done some things in this series you've never seen before. That play yesterday, the wild pitch in the E2 that let 3 runs come in.
Now, it would have been a fairly close play at home plate, but I think it would have been worth Rosario's effort to make an attempt to tag him out at home plate. Instead, he gave up on the play at home and got the out at second.
Tulowitzki with a single to start the 5th. I mean, it looked to me like Rosario, it's like he wasn't expecting a throw home. He was 3 steps out in front of home plate, knowing that there's a runner from third base coming at some point.
Right.
So by the time he caught the ball, he probably figured he couldn't get a tag back in time. But he shouldn't have been out there that far in the first place, right? I mean, you got to expect to play in that place.
Right. Of course, you get a run down, a man at third base with decent speed.
Morneau with a base hit. Well, the Rockies come right out, back-to-back singles. They're 2 big sluggers, Tulowitzki and Morneau, 2 on, nobody out.
But the thing is, on that play, Ryan Braun did the right thing. Once the throw came from second base over towards first, it was going to be a difficult play for Morneau. Once the guy started running him back to first, you got the throwing arm on the infield side, of the play. It's going to be a tough throw to home plate. So he did that and was able to score.
Credit Lucroy for getting in the rundown long enough for the run to score. Well, now Loesch, who is coming off a 3-up, 3-down 4th, in some trouble in the 5th. Colorado's hottest hitter at the plate, Corey Dickerson. Strike 1, caught the corner. Dickerson has 7 hits in this series. He had a 4-hit game on Friday night, had 3 hits last night. He's homered in back-to-back games. 25-year-old out of Mississippi, Corey Dickerson. Goes up for that one. Back is Gomez. Both runners are going to tag, and Gomez fires one into second base. So an out. Tulowitzki advances to third. What a good throw by Gomez keeps a double play opportunity available for Loesch.
Yeah, hit plenty deep enough to allow Tulowitzki to get over there to third base, but Gomez with the right throw. So now Loesch needs a ground ball.
And it'll be Willeen Rosario at the plate. Rosario has grounded into the most double plays on the Rockies roster this season. He has bounced into 20 double plays this year. I beg your pardon, 10 double plays this year in his 50 games. Loesch could use one right here. The Rockies have been running a lot. They put a lot of runners in motion. They've stolen 7 bases in this series already. But you don't figure Morneau to try a straight steal. It's possible he could be running on a hit and run.
Well, Loesch just got to maybe make a token throw or step off just to let him know he's keeping an eye on him.
One ball, one strike on the Rockies catcher. Packs plenty of punch. Rosario has big power. The Brewers just took the lead in the top of this inning with 2 runs. In the air, in the infield. Ricky Weeks will make the catch. And both runners stay put. So Rosario is out on an F4. 2 outs in the inning now.
I don't think they called an infield fly rule, did they?
I didn't see anybody's hand go up. First and third scenario with 1 out.
That's right. Doesn't apply.
So here's Rutledge, who is hitless in this series. He did walk his last time up. Loesch a chance to get through this 5th inning after surrendering back-to-back singles to start it. Rutledge flew out to right his first time up. Had a long battle with Loesch in the 3rd inning, resulting in a walk. Loesch had 86 pitches. Took 30 pitches to get through the 3rd inning. 2 on, 2 outs. Brewers lead by 2. 1-2 the count.
Well, a hanger right there. Rutledge had a good one to hit. Right down the middle, about belt high, fouled it straight back.
Big pitch here for Kyle Loesch. 1-2. Here it comes. Fastball upstairs, backs him out of there. 2-2 now. The Brewers will have Gomez leading off the 6th inning after Lucroy was cut down at second base, getting in that rundown. Got the heart of their order coming up. There's a shot. Ramirez knocks it down. Throw to first, and it's in time. Aramis Ramirez standing in front of a rocket off the bat of Rutledge, and able to make the play to end the inning. Good strong throwing arm by Ramirez. He'll hit second when we come back. Mile high, 5,280 feet, right there on that line. As promised earlier in the broadcast, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. It's brought to you by AT&T, and it comes from James at J. Stu Jr. Having some fun at the Dells with our Brewers Live crew. Don't forget, Brewers Live postgame with Craig and Augie. Not Augie. Augie's here. Craig and Davey, I beg your pardon.
Augie's doing radio.
That's right. Craig and Davey from the Dells coming up after the game.
It's Joe Block and Jerry Augustine.
It's the Block and Augie show. Bob Uecker will be back on the mic tomorrow on the radio, and Augie will be back with us tomorrow for our 1-hour pregame show before the Brewers and the Nationals.
Augie needs a secretary.
Gomez leads off. It is 5-3 Brewers. Matzek falling behind him 3-0, and Gomez swings away 3-0. Pops it foul and out of play. Carlos bunted for a single in the second inning. Extended his hitting streak to 18 consecutive games. And his on-base streak to 35 in a row. Inside, ball 4. Gomez draws the walk. Command becoming an issue here in the last couple of innings for Tyler Matzek.
You wonder how long the Rockies are going to leave Matzek out there. They've had some stirring out in that bullpen. Nobody throwing as of yet. They're starting to stretch it out a little bit. They get a sense for when somebody's going to get a call.
Well, that brings up Aramis Ramirez. Excellent play to end the bottom of the 5th on a hot shot off the bat of Josh Rutledge.
And fortunately for the Brewers, right at him, and Ramirez had no choice but to stay in front of it, knocked it down, and they talk to the players about the infield here. It is about as hard as it gets. It's like playing on a parking lot. It's how quickly that ball gets to you on the ground.
Matzek with a long look, and Ramirez fouls it back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Grass is cut very short. The infield's very hard. Doesn't benefit the pitcher in any way, this ballpark. Not much foul territory. It's all about offense here.
I was talking to George Frazier, the Rockies analyst, and I asked him, how come you don't grow the infield grass up here? Give your pitchers a chance. He goes, we did that one year, but the hitters complained. I said, oh, really? They complained.
Yeah.
What's there going to complain about in this ballpark?
I guess it doesn't matter if the pitchers complain. It's all about the offense,
He did make a good point, though. The Rockies have prided themselves on great defense, infield defense. They've had Todd Helton over at first base for years. Tulowitzki, Helton, a Gold Glove Award winner. And they think the fast infield actually gives them an advantage because they are so skilled defensively. Right now, that's not the case because their potential Gold Glove third baseman, Arenado, is on the disabled list at this point. You still have Tulowitzki out there, but you got Rutledge at second. Morneau is not the defender that Todd Helton was.
Now, is Tulowitzki a guy that is known as a guy with great range? Average range, I would say, but he makes all the plays. Has a great throwing arm. And you grow the grass a little bit higher and you soften up that infield. I think everybody's range improves.
Yeah, if I was pitching here, I would be demanding some kind of balance. Gomez leaning at first. Matzek staring at him. And Ramirez into center field. Going back on it is Stubbs, and that's over his head. Gomez around second. He'll go to third. Ramirez into second base. Nobody covering there.
Yeah.
And it'll be a double for Aramis Ramirez.
Yeah, they were all set up for the relay down at home plate. They were figuring Gomez, there might be a play at home. They conceded the double. Had they not done that, there would have been a play at second. Well, the ball just carries incredible here over the head of Stubbs, and Ramirez into second base with nobody out.
9th double this year and a milestone double for Ramirez, number 450 in his 17-year career in the major leagues. And Ramirez has 2 more hits today. He has 8 hits in this 3-game series thus far. And the Brewers are knocking at the door again, 2nd and 3rd. Infield in for Chris Davis.
As if it isn't tough enough to cover ground in the infield when you're back, let alone up on the grass. But the Rockies feel as though they can't fall behind any further. Got the bottom half of the order coming up.
Davis had a hit his first time at the plate, had a single to right. He bounced out his last time up. Got a great opportunity here to drive in a couple. Gomez at third, Ramirez at second. And Davis down the right field line. That is just foul. Wow, didn't miss by much.
Oh, looked like it might have hit the line, but just missed.
First base umpire Mike Easterbrook right on that line.
Yes, he was.
And Garth Orge is feeling like it was fair.
Yeah, Ron Rennie wants to take a look. Now, this is reviewable because it's beyond the umpire. In front of the umpire, not reviewable. Past the umpire, as he has to turn around, it is reviewable. There's Jerry Narin talking to the video group. Let's take a look at it.
This is a great camera angle right down the line. You be the judge. Oh, zoom out. Man, missed it. And so Renicky has seen enough. That was a foul ball. And we'll do it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Infield in for Colorado. Nobody out to start this 6th inning with a walk and a double. Davis able to take one low.
That's a good take on a pretty good slider.
Sun shining brightly now. And Davis lashes another one foul. He's been just a touch late on Matzik.
Well, trying to protect against the slider. I mean, he's going to be trying to protect the plate, not starting that bat too early. Wants to be able to make contact, and that's a good thing.
That is Rob Scahill in the bullpen. He just arrived here from AAA. Little tapper, foul for Davis. Count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rockies will welcome in the Cardinals tomorrow. St. Louis already won today. They beat the Phillies. Cardinals are on their way here to Denver, while the Brewers are headed home to face the Washington Nationals tomorrow. Colorado has lost 5 consecutive games after being swept in Los Angeles over the weekend, or earlier this week, I should say. There's a called strike 3.
Right down the middle.
Davis got caught guessing, and the first out of the inning on a backwards K.
Right down the middle of the plate. A good pitch to hit, and Davis looking slider.
And that'll bring up Mark Reynolds. Reynolds with 1 hit in 2 tries. He has 3 hits in the series. Had 2 hits and 2 RBIs yesterday. Reynolds made a couple of terrific plays at first base yesterday as well. 2 diving stops. 1 to the glove side, 1 to the arm side. A bouncer past Gomez. who looked offended that he was even hit towards. Ball and a strike on Reynolds. 2 on, 1 man gone. Reynolds takes one inside. They'll ask if he went, and he was able to check his swing. Brewers have had so many at-bats with runners in scoring position in this series. They're 1 for 3 today, and that's not many, but 34 at-bats with runners in scoring position the first 2 games. Reynolds drove in a couple of runs with runners in scoring position yesterday on 2 hits. Infield in for Colorado. 5-3 Brewers. And Reynolds swings and misses. 2-2. Well, you know, Matzek is thinking about a strikeout here. That's what he needs. Reynolds just trying to put this in play. Nothing in the strike zone yet against Reynolds, but it's a 2-2 count.
Yeah, left that one up. That was a slider right in his eyes. Good pitch to hit, but protecting the plate. Man, Brewers were 9. Count them, 9 for 25 in the first game of the series with runners in scoring position. This is only their 4th at bat with a man in scoring position today.
2 on, 1 away. Here comes a 2-2, and Reynolds just got a piece. Stays alive. Another fastball high with some velocity on it. 93 pitches for Matzek. Just his 3rd major league start. 2 of them have come here at Coors Field. Brewers with 5 runs on 7 hits thus far. Reynolds can add 2 more to it with a base hit, perhaps. Remember, you've got Gomez at 3rd with great speed. Anything gets by Rosario, and he could score as well. I wonder if that affects the confidence throwing breaking balls of Matzek. We'll see. Down in the dirt. Nice block there by Rosario.
Yeah, but a good take. Then they got first base open. They figure if they get Ramirez or Reynolds here, they're going to walk Segura to bring Loesch to the plate. And that's a nice block, able to square his shoulders and keep it in the glove.
Big spot for Mark Reynolds. Full count. And Reynolds in the air, foul territory. That'll slice into the seats. Matzek has thrown a ton of pitches here. The 3rd time through the batting order. Matter of fact, his last 11 hitters, he's been in 7 3-ball counts.
Yeah, but he's still throwing hard. 94 still with the fastball. He still has something left.
Pitch number 9 of the at-bat. Down and in. Ball 4. Reynolds draws the walk, and the bases are loaded now.
I have to wonder if that's going to be it right there. You got a right-hander warming up in the bullpen. Matzek in trouble with the bases loaded. And a lot of pitches in the 6th inning.
Walt Weiss came out to the top step, then went back, and now here he comes. So the Rockies manager will make the move. He's going to the home plate umpire, so he's got a double switch coming. And that's going to be the end of the line for young Tyler Matzek. He will exit with the bases loaded behind him. LeMahieu will come into play second. And we'll see a newcomer, Rob Scahill, who just arrived here from AAA, his first game since being put back on the big league roster. We'll take a break. We'll set up the new pitcher after this. You by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Miller Lite, now in the original can, it's Miller time. Coors Field, corner of 17th and Blake, downtown Denver, and the bases are loaded for the Brewers. They are threatening to add to this 5-3 lead. Double switch here. DJ LeMahieu will come in to play second base. And the new pitcher is Rob Scahill, just here from Colorado Springs in AAA in the PCL. You see his numbers there for the Sky Sox, and he's on the Coors Field mound here today.
He has a pretty good arm. This is the third season with the Rockies after 6 games in 2012 and 23 games last year. 0-1 last year with a .429 earned run average through 42 innings. And Scahill comes into a beehive right now with the bases loaded and 1 out with Gene Segura coming up.
Matzek had it set up. The key at bat there was Reynolds. If he gets Reynolds, they probably walk Segura. Then he's got Loesch. There's a way out of it for him. But instead, Reynolds draws the walk. And now Segura is up there with a chance to do some damage. Bases loaded, 1 out. The Brewers must come up with some runs here in a spot like this. And Segura pops it up on the first pitch. LeMahieu is there, and he's got it in foul territory. Worst case scenario for the Brewers. Hey, Segura, he's an aggressive hitter, but you have to wonder about the strategy against a guy he's never seen before.
And that's a good fastball, 95 right in on his hands, and Segura jammed himself. Looks like the Brewers are going to go to the bench. It's going to be it for Kyle Loesch.
Segura is retired. Ron Renicky sensing the need to get some offense here, and Loesch is out. Scooter Gennett will bat. So Loesch 5 innings, giving up 3 runs. He is in line for the win, and Scooter Gennett will enter the game. Gennett's been a hot hitter.
You got to figure out ways to get Scooter in the game when you have 3 consecutive lefties starting against you, with Ricky getting starts at second. Gennett's so hot, you don't want to sit him 3 days in a row. You lose his edge. Good spot to bring him in right now.
Gennett on a 7-game hit streak. Good swing. He fouls it back. 1-1 the count. Scooter has 9 hits on this road trip, including a home run in Arizona. In that leadoff spot, he's hitting .450 for the Brewers. Well, this hot stretch for Gennett has his batting average up over 300. Bases loaded. Gennett takes a strike outside corner. 1-2 the count on Gennett.
That took a little off, 90 miles an hour. Looked like it might have been off the outside corner.
The Brewers had runners at second and third and nobody out in this inning. Now they're loaded with 2 outs. 1-2 pitch. Gennett bouncing ball to Tulowitzki, ranges over, and the throw is in time. And the Rockies get out of it. Big opportunity lost for the Brew Crew.
to the Rockies half of the 6th inning here in Denver. So soak up the summer at Miller Park, Thursday, June 26th through Sunday the 29th, as your first place Milwaukee Brewers take on the Colorado Rockies. Call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com for tickets.
Homestand will begin with a 3-game series against Washington and then the Rockies for 4. So Loesch is out after 5 innings, giving up 3 runs all earned, and it'll be Brandon Kinsler on the mound now. 5-3 Brewers lead. Kinsler will enter, trying to protect a 2-run lead going to the bottom of the 6th inning.
Yeah, Ron Rennick electing to try to get some more offense. Loesch with 89 pitches in 5 innings and struggled in every inning but 1. So Kinsler on here in the 6th. You see his numbers. Last pitched on Friday here against the Rockies. An inning and a third to give up 3 hits, a couple of runs.
Well, Kyle Loesch on his way to the clubhouse. 89 pitches for Loesch, but in line for the win. If the Brewers can get to the end here, it would be the 9th victory for Loesch.
The only inning that the Rockies didn't have a man in scoring position against Kyle was the 4th. They 3 up, 3 down, 4th.
Brandon Kinsler to face Charlie Culberson to start it. DJ LeMahieu will hit next. He came in on the double switch, and then back to the top of the Rockies order, Charlie Blackmon. Cincinnati won today 4-3. Johnny Cueto beat the Blue Jays. 7 wins for Cueto. Aroldis Chapman got his 13th save of the season. So the Reds come back after letting an 8-0 lead get away on Friday. They win the last 2 games of that series with the Blue Jays. Cardinals a winner today over the Phillies 5-3. St. Louis on their way here as we speak. They might be here before our game ends today. You never know. Bouncing ball up the middle. That's through, a base hit. Culberson with a single to start the inning. Rockies have had their leadoff batter reach base in all but 1 inning today.
Yeah, like playing on a parking lot, isn't it? Well, the ball shoots through here very quickly, and Rockies have been doing a nice job making contact. Bouncing that one into center field.
That'll bring DJ LeMahieu to the plate. Kinsler, a ground ball pitcher. Power sinker. LeMahieu shows bunt, takes a ball. First at bat for LeMahieu. He started the first 2 games in this series. Was 1 for 4 yesterday.
Man, don't think the Rockies aren't going to continue to try and steal bases. Culberson already with a stolen base in the game. It's kind of been their MO against the Brewers in this series.
Kinsler falling behind. Charlie Blackmon, the Rockies leadoff hitter, is due next. LeMahieu has a good eye at the plate. He'll take his walks. Usually gets into deep counts. He's 1 for 9 in this series. That hit coming yesterday. Brewers lead by 2. Let an opportunity go by last inning. And a snap throw to first. Culberson looks like he wants to run.
Yeah, 2-0, not the ideal running count. want to allow your hitter to get a good pitch to hit on 2-0. 2-1 a little bit different. That's a great running count.
Kinsler would love a ground ball here. A chance to turn a double play. Top of the order next. And another check on Culberson. Brewers trying to take a little starch out of the legs of Charlie Culberson. Typically those throws are coming or ordered from Renicky in the dugout.
Yeah, that's why you see the Lucroy and Maldonado looking in. They're not looking for a pitch. They're looking to see if they want to pitch out or throw over.
Culberson takes off, and the pitch is a strike throw to second. The tag in time. Culberson is out. Lucroy finally gets one.
Segura finally holds on to one. Lucroy should have 3 caught stealings today. As it is, he's got 1. And gets Culberson. Gets him right on top of the head before he gets to second base.
Good catch and tag there by Segura. And Lucroy cuts a runner down at second. Base is empty now. The pitch was called a strike, and there's a shot off the shin of Kinsler. And LeMahieu will reach. That'll be an infield hit. Kinsler looks like he's all right. Lucroy checking on him.
Yeah, location for Kinsler not very good so far. That pitch right down the middle of the plate, up in the zone, and LeMahieu bangs it right off his leg.
Back to the top of the order, Charlie Blackmon. One out, runner at first. Brewers lead by 2. Starting to drift into the dangerous part of the order for Colorado. You got Stubbs due next, and then Tulowitzki.
It's been like NBA games this weekend, right? You stay close until the end, and we'll see who's left standing. It's kind of the way it's been.
Yeah, the Brewers won 13-10 on Friday, 9-4 yesterday, but didn't feel like a 9-4 game. Rockies had base runners everywhere. They're threatening. 5-3 today. I'm sure these pitchers are going to be glad to get out of Denver.
Yeah.
Last trip to Denver this season. An ERA buster, although Peralta did very well yesterday. Even Loesch today getting through 5 innings. Certainly could have continued here, but his spot in the order came up with the bases loaded. In the air to right center field. Braun's got a long way to go. Braun can't get there. That's off the wall. LeMahieu around third. He'll stop there. And a double for Charlie Blackmon. 3 consecutive hits to start the inning against Kinsler. That caught stealing is standing up big right now.
Yeah. No, look at the location for Kinsler. Right down the middle, up in the zone, no movement whatsoever. And once again, finding the grass. Boy, it's such a big outfield. Tough to cover with 3 guys, and Blackmon with another base hit, his second today.
And more trouble for the Brewers. Second and third, 1 out for Drew Stubbs. Stubbs singled, stole a base, and scored a run in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 3. This is the guy you have to get if you're Brandon Kinsler, with Tulowitzki coming up next.
Well, he just hasn't been able to get ahead in the count. He's been behind in the count on just about everybody. You can't get him to swing at your pitch when you're pitching from behind in the count.
Kinsler in a battle right now. Can't quite find it out there. He's got to make a big pitch. 2-0 the count. Tying run now at second base for Colorado. And Stubbs, a slow roller. Kinsler slipped. Got to hurry now. The throw to first in time. What a great play by Brandon Kinsler. One of the fastest players in the league. Stubbs running down the line. He just got him.
Well, when you get it down on the end like that, you get a little bit of a late break out of the box. But Kinsler doing a nice job. And Culberson caught no man's land over at third base. He wasn't sure if Kinsler was going to take a look at him or not. He had to go back to third. That's a heck of a play and a break for the Brewers. But they have to deal with Tulowitzki now.
Well, you have a base open at first. Morneau is due next. Renicky does have a left-hander in the bullpen. Zach Duke, I believe that is, down there. We'll see how he wants to play it. The hard part about putting men on in Colorado is the damage that can happen.
Well, you can't now. I mean, you put the go-ahead run at first base with Morneau coming up. That's why Morneau has so many RBIs. If Tulowitzki doesn't drive him in, it's the cleanup hitter Morneau. That guy.
Who's third in the league in RBIs. Kinsler facing Troy Tulowitzki, who's 1 for 3 today. Second and third, 2 outs. And he busted him inside with a fastball.
Although the Brewers have Zach Duke getting loose in the bullpen, we'll see what they elect to do here. A little bit too early, I think, to be playing matchups, but the Brewers do have 8 relievers down there.
Neither option is very pleasant.
No.
One ball, one strike.
Well, you got back-to-back lefties coming up. Morneau, Dickerson. Kinsler going right after him here with a fastball up and in.
Rockies are 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position today. One ball, one strike on Tulowitzki. Still second and third. And a fastball strike, 94 miles an hour. Tulowitzki got caught guessing, I think.
Yeah, right at the knees.
1-2 the count.
That doesn't look like they're pitching around him, does it? That's the thing. You just don't want to put base runners on. That's the thing about this ballpark that people don't think about too much. You worry about the hits, you worry about the home runs, but the base on balls, putting men on base, and then the big hits and home runs come.
Lucroy wants to work it out with Kinsler. Big pitch coming here with 2 strikes on the league's leading hitter in Tulowitzki, who's feeling a little bit of the pressure as a run producer lately. He's not driven in a run in his last 5 games. He's had some opportunities in this series as well. "5-3 Crew up by 2. Here comes a 2-strike pitch way in the dirt. Lucroy able to keep it close enough. That was a heck of a play by Jonathan Lucroy. That was well into the left-handed batter's box.
Yeah, I'll tell you, he's been catching brilliantly and able to keep that one close enough to keep the runner at third base. And only catching all 3 games of this series. You know those legs have got to be barking a little bit, but Lucroy able to smother that one.
LeMahieu at third, Blackman at second. 2-2 to Tulowitzki. And he pops him up. Ball's got some travel, but Davis is there. Got in on his hands, and that will retire the side. Brandon Kinsler strands a pair, and the Brewers still lead 5-3. Marshfield Clinic, Brandon Kinsler staring down the barrel of the gun. Got Drew Stubbs. Made a fine play coming off the mound. That was out number 2. And then the big battle with Troy Tulowitzki.
Almost missed his spot. He wanted to go up and in and left a little bit out over the plate, but got the fly ball out to end the inning.
The Rockies have stranded 9 on base here today. 6 of those in scoring position. And the Brewers still lead 5-3.
Takes some guts to come in there in that situation, doesn't it? Man. You saw Lucroy sneak inside. You knew they were going to come inside and throw the fastball, and he got his man.
Rockies get 3 hits, cannot score. Key caught stealing in that inning as well. Lucroy finally cutting down a base runner. So here we go to the 7th now. It is 5-3 Brewers. Ricky Weeks will lead off. Rob Scahill came on. He got out of a jam himself in the 6th inning, retiring Segura and Jeanette with the bases loaded. Top of the order, Weeks, Braun, and Lucroy. Anybody gets on, Gomez will hit. Cardinals have won today. They beat the Phillies 5-3. Reds over the Blue Jays, and the Pirates took down the Cubs this afternoon. So,
yeah, 2-1 in Chicago.
Compton got the win in that game. They have removed, the Pirates have, Jason Grilli from the closer's role. Mike Melanson is the new closer, and he saved his 12th today. So the Brewers trying to keep all of those competitors in the National League Central at distance. They open the day, the Brewers do, with a 5.5 game lead over St. Louis, 8.5 up on the Reds, and 9 up on the Pirates. A win today for Milwaukee would be their 4th consecutive win. It would mean a 6-1 road trip. And it would also mean just the 2nd sweep ever in franchise history here at Coors Field in Colorado.
Well, they've had to work for them, although they've scored many runs. None of them seem to be real comfortable. Talking to Ron Rennick about it, he agrees. I mean, every out is a grinder. You work for everyone here in this ballpark.
Scahill deals a 2-2, and Weeks bounces to third. Culberson, and a high throw gets away from Morneau, and they're going to send Weeks to second base. That got tied up in the seats, and with the ball boy down there, and Ricky Weeks is going to be on his way to second. So they have had major trouble from their third base position here in this series, and yet another error.
Well, you would assume it's going to be an error. It's an E5. High throw. Morneau can't hang on to it. And a 2-base error on Charlie Culberson going into the camera well. Third base has been a trouble spot for the Rockies in this series.
Well, I mean, they are sorely missing Nolan Arenado, one of the great defenders in the game. Not with a broken finger. Things kind of turned south for Colorado when Arenado was injured. Here's Braun, a chance to add to the lead. The Brewers stranded the bases loaded last inning. Needing to cash in here off Scahill. Arenado was injured on May 23rd against Atlanta. And the Rockies been on a bit of a slide since. 8-19 is their record since Arenado went on the disabled list. Pickoff play at second. Weeks back easily. Arenado broke that finger sliding into a base head first.
Hey, it's the glove hand, right?
Glove hand. Yep.
So he was making some throws yesterday. He looked pretty good doing it. The middle finger on the glove hand,
yes. I broke my middle finger once.
I appreciate you showing me what finger he broke.
They put the cast on and straight up. We're number one. He broke this finger, Rock.
Made it obvious.
Anything I can do to help you out? Holding Weeks closely, and Braun breaks his bat. Morneau will make the catch. One gone. Weeks still at second base. So that'll bring up Lucroy.
Man, this Cahill's got a good fastball. Not afraid to come inside with it either. Jamming Ryan Braun. That was a good pitch. Hey, one thing you realize when you come into this ballpark, you have to be able to use your fastball and you have to be able to pitch inside. If you just continue to go outside and away with all speed stuff, these guys are going to kill you. You got to keep them honest inside. And it doesn't matter how hard you throw.
Lucroy against Cahill. One gone. Weeks at second base. Big run the Brewers are trying to deliver. Another pickoff play. Cahill has been in the big leagues parts of the last 3 seasons. This is his first outing in the big leagues this year. Made his debut with the Rockies in 2012. He was a September call-up. He was up and down 4 times last year.
And he's spending a lot of time worrying about Ricky Weeks, so you hope that he makes a mistake to Lucroy. They're giving a big hole between first and second, and that's exactly where his base hit came his last time up. A lot of room in there in that hole between first and second.
Two 2-0 on Lucroy. As with most power pitchers, command is the key. And Cahill's gone through the Rockies minor league system with an ERA of about 4.5. With this kind of stuff, but he strikes out a lot of guys, but he also walks a lot of hitters.
And has a tough time with his breaking pitch, the slider.
At about a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio throughout his minor league career. Powered that one right past Lucroy. 2-1 the count.
And right down the middle.
Played his college ball at Bradley University. Rob Cahill, he's an Illinois native. He's from Lombard, Illinois. Weeks at second on an error. And Lucroy into right center field. Pretty well hit. Blackman is over, and he's got it for the out. Weeks will tag and end up at third base. Just hung up there too long. Blackman able to run under it for the second out of the inning.
And just a little bit down on the trademark. Cahill able to get it by him just enough. Not able to get good extension, and that kept it in the ballpark. Might have been that increased humidity you've been talking about.
I think it is. That increased humidity played big when Troy Tulowitzki was at the plate.
This might have gone down recently. It's looking pretty good outside.
At the plate, presented by Wendy's, Carlos Gomez. He's had a great series. Extended his hitting streak with a bunt single in the second. He's walked today. Gomez and Ramirez have combined for 14 hits in this series. And that is a swing, according to first base umpire. Mike Easterbrook. 0-1 on Gomez. Runner at third, 2 outs. Down and in. So Gomez and Ramirez in 25 at-bats in this series. 14 hits, 2 homers, both by Aramis, 2 doubles, 7 runs batted in from your 4 and 5 hitters. And Ron Renicky keeps getting asked if he's going to change his lineup.
Why would you?
I think all parties are pleased with the way the lineup is situated.
Hey, Ramirez has to be happy. All the men that are on base when he comes up. Until it stops working, leave it alone.
Two balls and a strike. Scahill delivers. Gomez pops it up. Justin Morneau in foul territory, and that will retire the side. And back-to-back innings, the Brewers have stranded runners in scoring position. They've left 4 on the last 2 innings. Well, we turn it over to the crew here at Coors Field and their presentation of God Bless America. Enjoy as we hit the 7th inning stretch.
The Colorado Rockies are proud to host
the all-new Chevy Silverado. On our way to the bottom of the 7th inning from Coors Field in Denver. 5-3, the Brewers have the lead. Well, Kalahari Resort features an exciting mix of rides, slides, and adventures for the whole family. From the amazing water park and indoor theme park, Kalahari offers an array of attractions for children of all ages, plus with amenities such as Spa Kalahari and Salon, exceptional dining options, and championship golf. They go beyond your expectations. Brewers Live coming up from the Dells after we are done here. Bottom 7, it'll be Zach Duke, his 35th appearance of the season, and he'll have Morneau to face to start it.
Yeah, Morneau, then Dickerson, a couple of left-handers. Then you're probably going to see a right-hander come on. Pitched on Friday against the Rockies. Gave up a run. Gave up a home run, actually. Allowed an inherited runner to score, which has been unusual for Duke.
Well, that home run came against Dickerson, and a rematch coming. Rockies have had base runners on in every inning with the exception of the 4th. Matter of fact, they've had 2 base runners on, at least 2 in every inning except the 3-up, 3-down 4th. Kyle Lohse started, went 5. He's still in line for the win. Lohse giving up 3 runs in 5 innings. Duke slings one in sidearm, and Morneau fouls it back. No balls, 2 strikes to count.
Morneau pretty good against left-handed pitching. Hangs right in there.
As does Dickerson. This will be a big challenge here for Duke. And a bouncing ball to Weeks right off the end of the bat. Rickey takes care of Morneau for out number 1. Good pitch there.
Leadoff hitter out. That's been a rarity for the Brewer pitching staff today.
It's just the 2nd time today. And this is the 7th inning.
The other time was 4th inning.
So here is Corey Dickerson. You could tell Dickerson was comfortable against left-handed pitching during that at-bat on Friday night against Duke. He fouled a number of pitches off. He was hanging right in there. That breaking ball that Duke has that buckles a lot of left-handers wasn't with Dickerson. And a swing just about like that.
Yeah, well, Duke left one inner half, and Dickerson smoked it second deck in right field.
Zach's had a great year. He has impressively reinvented himself on the mound. Used to be a starter. Actually was an all-star with the Pirates one year. Went to the bullpen. Things didn't go well with the Nationals. There's another swing and a miss. Ended up with the Reds. He dropped down to these multiple arm angles, kind of a situational left-hander, but Ron Renicky was saying he's got enough on his fastball where he's comfortable with Duke against right-handed batters.
Yeah, throw that 2-seamer right on the outside corner, get him to roll over on it.
Sidearm fastball misses.
He and Will Smith very good against righties. And we'll see if he gets Dickerson here if Ron Renicky lets him stay in against Rosario.
Yeah, he might just do it with a 2-run lead. The 1-2 and a breaking ball on the ground right to Weeks. And the throw just gets him. Boy, Weeks took forever to get rid of that baseball. And Dickerson, who can fly, almost beat it out.
Yeah, Rick likes to take those crow hops and get it over to first base and almost lost his man. Nice play going back, taking a little bit too much time. And Dickerson chugging down that line and just able to get him by a hairline. Wow.
So 2 up, 2 down. And here is Rosario, and Renicky will in fact allow Duke to face the right-handed batter. Rosario drove in 2 runs with a double to tie the game in the 3rd inning. But he popped up against Lohse with 2 on in the 5th inning. Lohse did a great job in that 5th inning. He had 2 on to start it and then retired the next 3 hitters. And we remain at 5-3. The Brewers would score 2 runs in the top of the 5th. Brandon Barnes will hit next.
Yeah, pitcher spot coming up in a double switch.
2 outs, 1-1 the count on Rosario. Right off his foot. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Looks like Nick Massett will be next for Colorado. Pitched yesterday, just coming back from a 3-game suspension after throwing at a hitter, Evan Gattis of the Braves, a couple of weeks ago. Two and two. Duke delivers, and a little soft liner is going to fall. A base hit. So Rosario just reaches out, collects his 3rd hit of the day.
Well, that'll end the day for Zach Duke, I would imagine, with a pinch hitter coming up. Here comes Ron Renicky. And right off the end of the bat, Rosario able to dump it into left field.
And Renicky on his way out. So Duke gets 2 outs. He gets the 2 left-handers. And Rob Wooten is coming in with Barnes announced as the pinch hitter. Pitching change at Coors Field. The Brewers in a tight one with the Rockies, trying to hang on to a 5-3 lead. .53 Brew Crew with 2 outs and a man on. Tying run coming up. Rob Wooten, the former AAA closer, is on to try to close out this 7th inning for the Brewers.
Yeah, through a scoreless inning yesterday, stranding 2 inherited base runners in the 8th inning. He's been very good. The slider's been pretty good. 27th appearance for Wooten. Earned run average at .463. He's allowed only the 1 home run this year.
Now Renicky doing all he can to try to get to the 8th. He's got his best 2 relievers, his setup man and his closer, fresh and available today, and Will Smith and Frankie Rodriguez. But some work to do here in the 7th. So Brandon Barnes will pinch hit. Rosario at first, 2 outs in the inning. Barnes hitting in the pitcher spot. which is now in the 7th spot in the order. And on the first pitch, he pops it up. Back is Weeks, looking for help from his outfielders, and Gomez will run it down. The inning is over on one pitch from Wooten. Series, the Brewers trying to make it a clean sweep of the Colorado Rockies. Our Miller Lite, what's on tap? Here's what's coming up tomorrow. The Brewers and the Nationals, the first of 3 games. Gio Gonzalez against Matt Garza tomorrow. Jordan Zimmerman, the Wisconsin native, against Giovanni Gallardo on Tuesday. And then Steven Strasburg, Marco Estrada matchup Wednesday. Don't forget, tomorrow we are on the air at 6 p.m. for a 1-hour pregame show leading up to that first game of the series. It's a 7-game homestand. Nick Massett is on the hill. We go to the 8th inning. The Brewers lead by 2.
Yeah, second appearance. It's coming back from his suspension. Got ejected on June 12th. Got a 3-day suspension, hitting Evan Gattis with a pitch. He pitched yesterday against the Brewers through a scoreless inning.
So Massett will face Aramis Ramirez to start the inning. Brewers have had a ton of base runners on the last 2 innings. They left the bases loaded in the 6th inning and then left a runner at third base last frame. Ramirez swinging away at the first pitch, bounces to Culberson, and there's out number 1. Here's Chris Davis. In most ballparks, 2 runs, you're feeling all right. You got Will Smith lined up. You've got Frankie Rodriguez, but not necessarily here at Coors Field.
Well, nobody was feeling real confident with a 5-run lead yesterday. Yeah, 2 runs. That's like a tie game. And you know that's the way they're feeling in that Brewers dugout right now.
Davis, and it's scooped up nicely by Culberson. He spins and throws him out. Well, Culberson has an error today, but he's made a couple of very nice plays at third base.
Able to go down and get it. A couple of steps into the hole and making a nice throw to first base to get Chris Davis. So 2 up, 2 down.
There's Will Smith getting ready for the bottom of the 8th inning. And the bottom of the order coming up. Culberson will lead off. Mark Reynolds now 2 away. And a shot back up the middle. Base hit for Reynolds. 2 more hits today for Reynolds, and on base for the 3rd time this afternoon.
Yeah, picking on fastballs early in the count. Hey, don't forget, next Friday, June 27th, is the Brewers T-shirt Friday. All fans at Miller Park to see the Brew Crew take on the Rockies. We'll get a free Brewers T-shirt courtesy of Master Printwear. Call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com for tickets.
Cool shirts. Can't wait to get back to Miller Park tomorrow.
That's an understatement.
Here's Segura. Reynolds at first base. Segura hit 2 home runs here on Friday night in consecutive at-bats. Had 2 home runs for the season coming into that game on Friday night, and then hit 2 on Friday, and flashing some of that power we saw last year. Segura shows bunts right through it.
The only time you're going to bunt in your number 8 spot is when you know a pinch hitter's coming up. Brewers have Lyle Overbay on deck. Trying to get a man into scoring position for Lyle.
No balls, 2 strikes on Segura. There goes Reynolds, and the throw bounces in, and Reynolds is in with a stolen base. That pitch barely made the dirt circle. That's about as wild of a pitch as you could have. Reynolds was taken off though, so he gets credit for a stolen base.
Yeah, Mike DeMuro and Rosario very fortunate that it didn't get either one of them.
Oh, gosh.
That made the dirt by about a foot.
An extremely wild pitch. It goes as a steal for Reynolds.
I'm not sure what Ron Renneke's talking about to the home plate umpire.
This is curious here. Mike DeMuro will bring the crew chief out, Jerry Lane.
Well, maybe talking about interference, perhaps. I mean, did Reynolds get up and make an attempt to get to third base and bumped into a fielder? I wasn't watching that. I was watching Rosario go after the baseball.
So the umpires are chatting. We are searching for something in the sequence there that might indicate what this discussion is all about.
No idea.
Jerry Lane chatting with Renneke. You know, I wonder, Rock, we were just talking about this the other day. Did he pick this up with his mask? Oh, I see.
Yeah, that might have been it. That might have been it, yeah.
So now if he does that.
It's 2 bases from where he was, and Ron Renneke thinking that might be a run.
Very observant, but he did, even though he had the mask in his hand, that's very risky by Rosario to do that.
He picked it up with his hand, but the mask was in the hand, so I guess the umpires are saying no harm, no foul there.
All right, so it stays. Reynolds at second. Segura with a bouncing ball to short. Tulowitzki will make the play to end the inning, and the Brewers strand another one. 5-3 Crew. Big Will coming in. big day today for Milwaukee. 2 more hits, giving him 8 hits in the series. And as Davey mentioned, the Brewers are set up the way they want it. They have the lead late, and they'll turn it over to Will Smith for the 8th inning.
Well, nobody's been better in that 8th inning. As setup man, leads the major leagues in holes with 17, and sporting a 1.03 earned run average in game number 40 for Will Smith. Had yesterday off. Smith last pitched on Friday, tossed a scoreless 8th inning. That included a couple of strikeouts.
Ron Renicky was able to get the win yesterday without having to use Smith or Frankie Rodriguez. Both have pitched a lot, and that was a bonus for the Brewer skipper. 6 big outs to try to get out of Denver with a sweep of the Rockies. A rare sweep. The Brewers haven't had one in a decade, and they've only had one here in franchise history. Charlie Culberson will lead off. Slightly concerning here for Milwaukee is the fact that they've left so many runners on base and in scoring position in the last 3 innings. 5 left on in the last 3, and 4 of those 5 in scoring position as Smith powers a strike in there at 95 miles an hour.
Yeah, Brewers 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position today. I guess you're not going to be able to cash in all the time. They've been pretty good in this series.
There's a shot to short. Nice pickup by Segura, and the throw is in time. On a scalding one hopper, Gene Segura hangs right in there.
It got to be hit right at him, doesn't it? That ball was hit right on the nose by Culberson. Segura able to go back, get it in the glove, and make a good throw to first base. A bullet, and handled easily by the Brewers shortstop.
So Segura takes care of Culberson for out number 1. Here is DJ LeMahieu now. Now batting in the 9th spot. This is his 2nd plate appearance. Had an infield hit his first time up against Kinsler. Kinsler got out of a mess in the 6th. 2nd and 3rd. Able to retire Stubbs and Tulowitzki. And there's a little flare that's going to fall. So LeMahieu did not start, but is 2 for 2. And a base hit for the Rockies.
Yeah, Smith able to get in on his hands, but LeMahieu able to dump it into right field with the outfield playing so deep in his ballpark. So the tying run comes to home plate, and the top of the order coming up.
It'll be Charlie Blackmon. Smith enjoying his first full season in the big leagues. Precedent has been set over the last few years that non-closing relievers get a spot on the All-Star team. Setup relievers are so valuable in this day of specialized bullpens.
Can't imagine why he would not make it if he continues this. Yeah, that last fastball for Smith, 95 miles an hour by Charlie Blackmon.
Smith appearing in his 40th game. Never appeared in more than 19 in a season with the Royals. That one's in the air to left field. Davis is going back, and he's got it for the out. 2 gone in the inning. Smith retires Charlie Blackmon.
It's a nice at bat right there from Blackmon. That was a pretty good pitch. He's hung right in there and hit a bullet out there to left field. So 2 hard hit baseballs, both outs. 1 not so hard. It was a base hit. Go figure.
And it'll be Drew Stubbs now. Stubbs singled and scored in the 3rd. He also stole a base that inning. Kinsler retired him with a swinging bunt ground ball in the 6th inning. That was huge. It was the second out, and then Kinsler ended up getting Tulowitzki to end the inning. The dangerous Tulowitzki next, and if he hits in this inning, he'll represent the go-ahead run.
Yeah, you want him leading off the 9th inning.
.24-year-old Will Smith. He'll be 25 in just a few weeks, July 10th. He was up and down 7 different times last year with the Royals. They like Smith, but they have so much pitching that they felt like they dealt from a position of strength. They needed a right fielder and a leadoff hitter, and the Brewers had the one guy the Royals wanted most, Nori Aoki. So that's why the deal was made.
And the Brewers will do it again.
And Aoki's been good for the Royals. Kansas City is in contention in the American League Central, and Smith has been one of the best relievers in the game. In the air to right, pretty well hit. Braun going back. Braun can't get there. It's off the top of the wall. Coming in to score is LeMahieu, and Stubbs is in with an RBI triple. And the Rockies are within a run.
Yeah, Ryan Braun's had a tough time judging fly balls this entire series. Kind of drifting back, thinking he was going to have a beat on it. That ball just hit over his head. He just flips the bat out there. Look at how far this baseball goes. Ryan not able to get there. And now the tying run at third base with the big boy coming up, Tori Tulowitzki.
5-4 Milwaukee.
Fly balls have been fooling Brawny this entire series.
Brewers want time out here. They're going to intentionally walk Tulowitzki to set up a matchup with Morneau. So Renicky going a little bit off the book here and will intentionally walk the go-ahead run.
Well, they got the left-hander coming up. Left-hander on the mound. This is a move that you make pretty much every time, isn't it? Although Justin Morneau pretty good against lefties. Now, this guy's leading the league in hitting. Put him on first.
Take your chances. And there is ball 4. So Tulowitzki is aboard on the intentional walk. Representing the go-ahead run. Now Rick Kranitz on his way out to talk to Smith. And a quick scouting report here for Justin Morneau.
Well, I'm not sure what the discussion's about. I think Will Smith pretty good understanding what's going on. I think Rick Kranitz just wants to go over what they want to do here in the event perhaps that Tulowitzki takes off. More of a defensive discussion maybe than what Will Smith has to do. The Rockies have been running a lot in this series, so they might try and steal a run here.
Big spot, 8th inning, 2 outs. Justin Morneau against Will Smith. Morneau is 1 out of 3 with a walk today. And Morneau, little cue shot. Ramirez scoops it up. Throw to first in time. Smith gets the job done. The move pays off for Renicky. And the Brewers still lead as we go to the 9th. The Brewers still lead the Rockies 5-4. Colorado just getting a run on an RBI triple by Stubbs. But Will Smith gets Justin Morneau to end the inning. Ramirez made the play to end it. Toyota game summary, 5-4 Milwaukee, 9th inning. Kyle Lowe still in line for the win here. Went 5 innings today. Adam Ottavino in the pitch for Colorado.
Yeah, 37th appearance for Ottavino. He's got that .413 earned run average, averaging almost a strikeout per innings pitched. 34 strikeouts, only 6 walks. He has allowed 3 home runs, making his second appearance against the Brewers. Pitched on Friday, gave up a run in an inning of work.
Lyle Overbay announced as the pinch hitter in the pitcher spot here. Will Smith does give up a run, but gets through the 8th inning, and the Brewers still have their lead intact. Overbay, a .230 hitter overall. He's had a nice road trip. Overbay as a pinch hitter is 4 for 10. Takes a strike, didn't agree with a call. It's 0-2.
And they got the shift on Overbay with Rutledge way back on the grass and right. A lot of room down that third baseline.
Be the top of the order after Overbay. Weeks and Braun coming up. Missing again outside.
He got some good run on that fastball, Ottavino. Not overpowering. 93, 94 miles an hour. Rushes it up there pretty good with some pretty good movement on it.
Overbay had 3 hits in the Arizona series. Had an RBI. 0 for 4 in this series. Got the start in the opener on Friday. Brewers are going to see their 3rd consecutive left-hander tomorrow in Gio Gonzalez, so it figures to be another day on the bench for Overbay as he hits that one high and deep to right field. Overbay watching this one go. Lyle Overbay with a pinch hit home run, and the Brewers up 6-4.
Just what the doctor ordered. The Brewers hadn't scored since the 5th inning. And that's big news in this ballpark. Overbay got a breaking ball. Waited back long enough and able to knock it out of here. Got under it. Nice easy swing with 2 strikes, and ball flies out of here way back and right.
And Lyle Overbay, Badger Mutual Insurance run of the game. Overbay with his 3rd homer. Now 20 runs batted in.
Yep, got a hanging slider, knocked it out of here.
Has been impressive the way the Brewers have been getting contributions from everybody up and down their roster, especially on the position player side of their roster, which is essentially a man short, carrying 13 pitchers at this point. And the O is up for Overbay. Ricky Weeks, a slider strike. Remember, Overbay had a big hit in the Brewers win in Arizona. Drove in the go-ahead run in Arizona. Last day of that series.
Yeah, that was a day that Overbay drove in a run. He got a couple of hits. Elian Herrera with an RBI single. That was a day when Braun and Lucroy were both out of the lineup.
That was Wednesday, or rather Thursday, I beg your pardon, the 4th game of that series. The Brewers won 3 out of 4 against the Diamondbacks. They got a chance to sweep the Rockies here and make it a 6-1 road trip. And through these two ballparks specifically, that is almost unheard of.
Right.
Two places that the Brewers historically have not played well. Milwaukee here at Coors Field, career 20 wins, 40 losses in this ballpark. And we've been here for a lot of them. There's a shot, base hit, Ricky Weeks into left field. Back-to-back hits in the 9th inning for the Brew Crew. Weeks has 2 hits today. And starting it all over again after the Overbay home run.
Man, never have enough, so get greedy.
Here comes Ryan Braun. Colorado has to be feeling like they finally scratched a run across. They got within a run. And the Brewers, with their first batter in the 9th, gets it right back with that homer by Overbay. And now a chance to maybe make it a big inning. Colorado has left 11 men on base today.
Yes, they have.
7 in scoring position.
They've been dreadful with runners in scoring position today. Only 2 for 13.
And they've had their big bats at the plate with runners in scoring position as well. Morneau, Tulowitzki, Dickerson. Lucroy to follow. Two and 1 to Braun. Rockies will host the Cardinals tomorrow. St. Louis beat the Phillies today 5-3. Brewers host the Nationals tomorrow. Washington beat the Braves earlier today 4-1. Washington back on top in the National League East. 2-2.
That's a pretty good fastball. The mistakes that he's made have been on the breaking pitch. Ottavino actually started his career with the St. Louis Cardinals.
There goes Weeks, and Braun just fouls it off. Hour-long pregame show tomorrow, getting ready for that series with the Nationals. Battle of first-place teams. Washington had a tough time beating the Atlanta Braves, but they shut them out yesterday, and then they won again today. They're a game and a half up on Atlanta. 2-2 the count. Braun shoots one foul. Count stays at 2-2. Ottavino had a good year last year. His second season in the big leagues with the Rockies. He got a little time with the Cardinals in 2010. Rockies got him off waivers from the Cardinals, the pitching-rich St. Louis Cardinals.
Interesting choice of numbers for Ottavino.
0.
Not too many of those in baseball.
Two and 2 to Ryan Braun. He's hanging tough.
Brewers have had a couple of double zeros on their roster. Curtis Laskanik, Jeffrey Leonard, two guys I remember.
Yeah, Leonard, one flat down.
Pac-Man.
He could rile up an opponent.
Ooh, yeah.
Braun spoils another one.
He's a hitting coach now, right?
Yes, he is. Look where he is. The hack man. Well, Braun is fighting a good fight here. 2-2. Ottavino. A long look, deals, and Braun strikes out. Finally got him.
Pretty good that was a good slider that time. He put that one right where he wanted it. Down and away. He made some mistakes with that pitch, but that's no mistake there. That's a tough pitch.
First out of the inning. Here's Lucroy now, who drove in a run in the fifth. 1 for 4. It was a wild play in the fifth inning. The Brewers have had a couple of wild scoring plays in this series. Milwaukee got 2 with 2 outs. That put them up 5-3 at the time. Inning started with a Lyle Overbay home run. Weeks singled. Braun just struck out. Here is Lucroy, and he takes a strike. No, I beg your pardon. A ball. A little bit low. This road trip for the Brewers has produced 51 runs. This is game 7. 51 runs and 75 hits in 7 games. There's a strike.
And looking for more. 2-run lead, not very much here.
You could say that about any digit up to double digits. I don't know, a 9-run lead, you could use a few more.
Feels like it.
You felt no different yesterday in a 5-run lead than you do right now in a 2-run lead.
Yeah.
You got Frankie Rodriguez, the closer, as long as it stays in a save situation. Gorzelani probably just trying to get loose, stay loose. He pitched yesterday. Probably wouldn't be many scenarios he'd pitch right now unless it ultimately got tied up or the Brewers erupted here with 2 away. Especially when you had the league's leading saves man in your bullpen in Rodriguez. Kyle Lowe still in line for the win here today. Took him out to try to generate some offense with a low pitch count. The Brewers had the bases loaded in the top of the 6th inning. And Loesch, who had the lead but wrestled through 5 innings, was pinch hit for. Brewers didn't score in that inning, but they've been able to maintain their lead. And if they get to the end, Loesch would win his 9th of the season, which would be good enough for 3rd in the league.
That's something.
And 1 off the National League lead. 2-2. Loesch is getting the most run support on the staff, and he's pitched well as well. The reason why he is 8-2.
Yeah, win here, and the Brewers in his starts will be 12-3.
Loesch gets about 6 runs per game, and they have 6 on the board today.
Make that 12-4. My mistake.
Lucroy, a bouncer to third base. Charlie Culberson will make the play. That is the 2nd out of the inning. Weeks will advance to 2nd. And that'll give Gomez another swing. All right, 2 gone. Gomez on twice today. 1 for 3 at the plate. Oh, it's been a great road trip for Carlos Gomez. He has 8 hits on the road trip. Played in 6 games. 8 for 20. Does that about once a day. Swings out of his helmet. It's always fun to see. Brings a smile to your face.
Yeah, good sliders will do that to you. He swings hard. This is a pretty good pitch by Ottavino, knowing that Gomez is going to be hacking first pitch. Gives him a good slider. First time today, though, isn't it?
First time today. In his last at bat. Chased another one. 0-2 the count on Gomez. No balls, 2 strikes. And Gomez strikes out to end the inning. Bottom of the 9th coming up. Overbay goes deep. Brewers lead a pair. Elian Herrera in right field. You wonder if Ryan Braun might have injured himself. So Herrera takes over in right. We are headed to the bottom of the 9th inning, and the Columbia St. Mary's save tracker, Frankie Rodriguez, with 24 saves, leads the National League, and he is on the mound to try to secure a series sweep for Milwaukee.
They had picked up number 24 on Friday right here at Coors Field. Leads the major leagues in saves. Pitched an inning on Friday with a couple of strikeouts, and strikeouts have been his strong suit this year. 42 punch-outs in 37 and a third innings. He's got the bottom half of the Rockies batting order to deal with. Don't have to worry about Tulowitzki or Morneau at this point.
So K-Rod, who saved the game on Friday. And the inning begins with Corey Dickerson at the plate. That home run by Overbay off of Ottavino. A big one at this point, giving the Brewers a 2-run shot. Rockies are going to need a base runner, and that ball's hit well to right. Herrera going back, and that ball's over his head. Takes a big bounce. Gomez cannot run it down. On his way to third goes Dickerson. The throw gets by Ramirez. And Dickerson is in to score. He falls down. And now they got him in a rundown, and this is going to be an out. Are you kidding me?
Wow. Boy, how many mistakes do the Colorado Rockies have to make in one series? Well, I guess you stay put at third base if you're not sure. You're down by 2. If you're down by 1, it's a little bit different. Look how closely this ball comes from getting out of the ballpark. We're not going to see it. It goes into third base without a problem. And the throw gets away from Ramirez, and then a little hesitation. And then he falls down, and the Brewers able to get an out.
Man. That has been the way the series has gone for the Colorado Rockies.
Look how close this is from being out of the ballpark. Bang, right off the yellow line.
That took a big bounce as well. That hit something firm back there and rolled all the way into short right field.
That's an amazing thing. I mean, getting caught like that. I mean, he would have scored standing up had he not fallen down. It'll be a triple, and record the putout as a 5-2 putout. So a big break once again for the Brewers.
Huge break.
Well, the Rockies just continue to shoot themselves in the foot.
So the first out, nobody on. Here is Wilin Rosario. It's been a head-scratching series if you're a Rockies fan. K-Rod delivers a fastball high.
Not much you can do about it. The kid feels bad, but had he not fallen down, he would have been able to walk home without a throw. He's had a tremendous series.
In the air to center field. Well hit. Gomez turns and runs, and that ball's gone. And now how big does that play look? Rosario makes it a 1-run game. And 2 missiles off the bats against K-Rod in this 9th inning.
And both coming on fastballs. Nobody says it's easy. Fastball, middle in, and Rosario, he looks like he knows it's out of the ballpark. He's hit him before here, and out of here to dead center. 1-run game with 1 out.
4 hits today for Wilin Rosario. So you got a triple and a home run, and yet the Rockies are still down a run. That Overbay home run standing tall now. Ryan Wheeler pinch hitting for Colorado. K-Rod has been hit hard twice.
And that triple by Dickerson missed being a home run by an inch. An inch to the left, and it's out of the ballpark.
Wheeler coming off the bench. Took a bunch of ground balls at third base today. He's their other option at third as they wait Arenado to return. Wheeler as a pinch hitter is 2 for 8 for Walt Weiss. That one's in there, a strike. 2-1 the count on Wheeler. Rodriguez has been used a lot. Has had a breakout season this year. Already 24 saves. There's a swing and a miss. Had him out in front.
That changeup. And a very effective pitch against young hitters. Got Wheeler up, Culberson on deck. Perfectly located down in the strike zone.
Two and two the count on Wheeler. Doesn't bite this time. K-Rod is currently 14th on the all-time MLB saves list. He's one away from tying Francisco Cordero for 13th all-time. Cordero had some closing duties with the Brewers. Some terrific years with Milwaukee. 3-2 pitch and a called strike three. K-Rod hits the bottom corner of the zone and down goes Wheeler.
Yeah, Wheeler looking change up, and K-Rod gave one right on the outside corner. Perfect pitch. Can't believe Wheeler thought that might have been a ball, but perfect pitch. He's rung up. 1 out away from getting out of here with a sweep.
2 gone. Here's Charlie Culberson. Brewers have swept the Rockies here in Denver once in franchise history, 10 years ago. On out away from doing it again. And he goes. Swinging strike by Culberson. Brewers are very fortunate in this inning. After that drive by Dickerson that almost went out. And then as the throw got away, Dickerson fell down between third and home and was an easy out, the first out of the inning. Bouncing ball. Reynolds has it. He'll go to the bag, and that's the ball game. And the Brewers sweep the Rockies. Fate on their side as the Brew Crew makes it a 6-1 road trip. K-Rod with save number 25. And he ties Francisco Cordero 13th all time. That's where the kiss. As the Brewers have one of their best road trips through Arizona and Colorado ever in franchise history.
I don't know about you, but it's exhausting. But it's going to be good to get on that plane, get out of here with a 3-game sweep and head to Milwaukee. Boy, these players, what a job they did away from Miller Park in this tough stretch. It's going to be good to get home tonight.
7 games, 51 runs on the road trip, 75 hits, and 6 wins in those 7 tries. Time for Brewers Live at the Dells. We send it out to Craig Kishon. What do you have coming up for us, Craig?